Check, check. Yep, check the sound. This, see my level. What up? All right. We'll get into it. Welcome. Here we go. Friday. Check. Let's make sure there's check, making sure there's sound this week. I don't go through another hour of talking to myself. What up? This is Last Call Podcast live Fridays at 9 p.m. and we are here, and I gotta drop the link for the homegirl Josephine, the chativist, doing the shows. We got some catching up to do. This might be, compared to our shows, a relatively shorter show, but we plan to do a couple things, man, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But welcome. A couple new subscribers, old subscribers, OGs in the house, visiting us again. Definitely appreciate anybody coming out, man. And I drop a video once a week, about 10-20 minutes on whatever given subject. So make sure you go and check that out and other things on the channel. And this is the live, man. As I say, try to do this on Fridays, 9 p.m. Usually we have my homegirl Josephine, which I said I was going to drop the thing for. So let me not be a liar and do the damn thing. You know. Boom. Hope everybody's fine, man. Hope everybody's having a great start to the weekend. Finish off their busy week. Telling you, man, it's been was a tough one. Even tough one physically to make it today. I'll tell you more about that one. What up? Sound is good. Appreciate it. Real funny last week, man. Keep thinking about that. But everybody was cool. Thanks for hanging in there with everything. You know. Above rookie mistakes, what we call them, man. What we call them, rookie mistakes. Oh, gotta get that later on. Let's do that later on. So yeah, let me do a little housekeeping. While we're waiting for Josephine, join us. Whoever else in the mix got some things to talk about. Before we get to some of the other things, big surprise, since not a lot of people in the chat right now. I've seen the movie Sinners. Finally, I sprung for it. And I'm not even going to tell you what I think until I start discussing it with Josephine. Do me a favor if you're here, whatever brought you here, appreciate it. Like, share, subscribe as we get started here on this crazy week, man. What is it? Keep on trucking. Little Eddie Kendricks on the cover this week. And people feeling the love him in the chat. Put that little sample in there for you, so you could enjoy along your way. And you can check out some of the other sounds on here too, like I see some people doing too. So that's good, man. Maybe renew, your interest in music. It's always good to have some stuff in rotation, and nice to just discover some shit you never even thought about for whatever reason, until. So that's what I try to do with the shorts and the music of that too, man. So whatever it is, check it out, share, like, subscribe, and got you here too. Normally I talk about the video that I put out. I think I put it out yesterday. Like I said, one video a week, 10-20 minutes, drop a subject on it. And I couldn't I said I didn't want to bring it in here as much, but just a couple of lines. I don't think people that jump on here expect that sort of conversation, or we want the vibes, and we're not that we're all agreeable like that, like a monolith, but we basically agree on the common good and ethics of things. So I just had to get some of my feelings out about the freaking, not even so much the Trump administration, although I mentioned that, but just this Epstein ridiculousness. So it's kind of like in the line of the stuff that, I put out with the other videos, my videos that I call Last Call Reacts, on those subjects and everything too. Couple good ones in there, man. So if you're bored, play on that bad boy and walk away or clean the house or whatever, you do when you got those things in the background. Because, first of all, for me to decide whatever, because you can do news on almost anything, any time of day, a thought that pops up, it's remembering something, a situation. Remember my Robert Johnson did very well, and some other things that I did went pretty well as well. So you never really know what it's going to be, until it is what it is. So put that up there, and this week I went with that case over here. Just a little break. Josephine is in the mix, so she should be. What do I do? Press that. Boom. There she is. What up?
What's going on? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Chilling, man. Another Friday, Here to all chat it up and do what we got to do. What's up? You had a rough week? How was work and everything? What you up to?
It was a long week. I just say that.
Yeah.
A long week.
Gotcha.
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad it's over.
That's cool, man.
Hopefully, I can recover over the weekend.
Cool. Right, sounds good, man. Sort of the same. Just feeling like shit earlier. I guess I had this bug all week. So I was like, if I go to the gym, because I kind of missed my my run, and then I went for it. And most of the times you feel pretty good. You're kind of glad that you went for the run, sacrificed it, whatever. Then that just felt a million times worse, just sick, nauseous, shitty. I was like, yo. So I just came back and passed out. A little food in front of my face right now. Not a whole lot, but, enough to get me through. And, man, that was a rough one for a little bit. But all worked out. And I am here. We are here.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
So anything in the week? I know, so we had been talking about Sinners. I was just telling people I saw it finally.
Finally.
There's a lot to unpack from it. I mean that you could, you could wrap it up in a few words, but I imagine you want to explore it in all its themes, in detail. So,
well, I mean, it's not really. I really wanted to kind of, Stevie Knight. If people went by how he reviewed it, then I wanted to kind of dissect how he took a movie that was kind of like had all these things going on and just basically made it into something so basic. So I wanted to cover that. I also wanted to go talk about a couple of things that I saw in the news today. I saw about did you hear about the lady, the TikToker that was that lost the judgment and has to pay $1.7 million for stealing this woman's husband.
Wait, what?
So in North Carolina, a TikToker was doing TikTok videos with this woman's husband. And so the wife ended up suing her for alienation of affection, and she won $1.7 million.
And killed her.
No, she ain't killed. She won $1.7 million.
Oh, okay. All right.
The judge ruled against, you know, ruled in her. I mean, the jury ruled in her favor and said, yes, you did take this woman's husband and you did alienate them, him from his wife, and now you're gonna have to pay 1.7 million.
You know, you think that's worth it? What's up?
Huh?
Empress, what's up? Seeing you in a while. What's going on, everybody? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you probably didn't see the story.
Probably didn't see what?
You probably didn't see the story.
No, I didn't. To find out a little bit more about it because I'm not sure I got the whole thing, but
Yeah, I'll find a little clip of it.
All right. So you said one thing. What's the other thing?
What was the other thing that I saw this week? I found very interesting. I didn't write it down. I was like, normally I write it down, but that was pretty much it. The government's back open, kind of, sort of.
Yeah. I dropped a video. I didn't really touch on that. My video was about more like the Epstein files, the ramifications around it and stuff, and just the contrast of things that people, what people are finding acceptable, and what they're dealing with. Even guys partying it up, expensive parties, while he cut people's benefits and stuff, and just the contrast of how things look and how he's operating and everything. I just touched on that for some of the social things. The whole deal is that some things have been released, and I was just talking about it before you came on here, so I just tie it all up. But the deal for me is just how it's dealt with and why these people. I guess we already know the answer there, as I say it. Elitism and everything as well that goes along with that particular class and everything new. These people are better. They use their privilege to play by their own rules. And this is an example of what we're seeing here. And just the contrast of him keeping, a tight lid on those files, but also maliciously releasing details on MLK and JFK and some of the black things while, he's demolishing the East Wing and taking away history in the museums and stuff, the statues and names and documents and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, big overreach, man. Just how do we let this thing happen? Who's really in charge? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Man, with that.
All I can say is it sounds like a kerfuffle. No, it's the elite against the elitists. That's what it sounds like to me.
Absolutely. Because you know what I think also, and I said this, I think one person that's heavily implicated in the whole thing would be Clinton. Obviously, he was there. And and how petty Trump is, he would throw him under the bus in a minute.
Exactly.
In a minute, just to make a point. He'd even, so it's got to be so heavy that he's like, even on this one, he's like, there'll be no wiggle room out of this, On top of that, he's asking for to expunge his case. He's been accused, not even accused, but charged. He's been convicted of SAing a woman. Her name is out there, and now he's asking to get her name removed, or get that case removed from his name, I should say.
Exactly.
Fuck it. How do you make it that far with that on your record? Where are you not pulled from your position immediately? What up, Emmanuel OG? If you got that sort of thing on you. It's like, what the hell is really going on? Shit. So yeah, man, I just I and it's like there's a few of these stories going around. Generally, in the middle of the week, I just feel like, oh, middle of the week, it's shit, whatever. And I'm just these stories, kind of rabbit holes that I went through, in the YouTube sphere and other things too. Just all the shitty stuff going on. You know, I'm just like, damn, and this too. But also trying. I got a new thing, which I don't like. I used to sometimes get addicted to the shorts on YouTube, just like run through the 30 seconds. See, there might be one in 100 that I find interesting. But now I do that on Instagram.
Turn your music down a little bit. Listen
My
to
music?
the
Oh,
Yes.
it was pretty high. All right, my bad.
Yeah.
I could barely have heard you that well, so maybe that was the whole damn thing. My bad. My bad.
All right, go ahead.
Um,
You say you used to run through the shorts.
yeah. Now I'm doing that again, but on Instagram. Not that I have an account. Like I said, I only got like 6 people on there. My cousins that from this music thing that they used to do. The verses. They're like, if you want to see it, whatever. Um, so I only really use it to get rid of any alerts that are on there. But then I end up getting caught up going through, you know, I forgot what they labeled them. If there's like some
Oh,
propaganda
reels.
thing going on and all the videos and everything too, man.
You talking
And
about
it's
the
like, oh,
reels?
hmm?
You talking about reels? On Instagram, they're called
I guess there
reels.
are reels, if you call them that. It's just footage of like historic things,
Yeah,
tragic things
yeah.
where they.
That's what I follow. Like they'll sometimes that like right now I'm following. I found the a one that goes back and talks about like shows little clips of Chicago and like the beginning and the
Mhm.
gang life and stuff like that. I downloaded it some of the video because I could download some of the videos off of Instagram, right?
Right.
So download um off of Instagram the and so that I could put it in my archives so I can add it to my other channel at some point. But they have some good stories
Yeah.
on there.
Good, good little stories and stuff like that too. And then there's a lot of AI on there and stuff. I don't really even use the Instagram Empress, so
Yeah,
it's no sense to me.
he doesn't have a last call Instagram yet, but once he gets
Yeah,
one, he'll
not,
drop
not
it.
even yet. Not even yet. Don't even look for it. It's not coming. It's not
No.
coming. And in the odd chance, one of my cousins across the country might get in touch, which is so stupid because we used to text anyway. I'm so annoyed at that. If he sends me a clip to try to make me use it, he'll send it through the damn Instagram or whatever. And I'm like, we
Yeah.
used to text these things together, so I don't understand that, people. But whatever,
Well,
whatever.
well, how I use Instagram, like my I don't add people like my family isn't on my Instagram at all, but they're able to send me reels and messages. They can message me. They can send me reels, but they just can't add me, and I can't. They can't be on my Instagram.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I get it. And if you're really into it too, like most of my friends don't even know I do this, or my family doesn't know I'm doing this on my Friday night. You know, removed a few hours doing this, and that's just because I don't know. This is my thing right now. It brings
Yeah,
me a little peace. And you don't got to invite. If we were all seated, dare I say, at the bar or something, you don't got to invite everybody and let them know that's where you're going on a Friday night. You know what I'm saying? There are two Memorial, Black Soldier Cemetery, and home. Government has it. Right. All stuff like that, Lorna. You know what I'm saying? That is quietly being done or overtly and obnoxiously being done. And you could almost bet that there's no that it's because of the retaliation of Confederate things going down, should not be allowed to
or
do that
or
at all.
or they don't want a certain group of people to come to the US, but they're okay with groups of 8. Did you hear recently that this so-called president that we had was talking about we don't have talent, and so his idea of talent is to bring in people from Asia.
Of course.
It's crazy.
Of course, he has people to appease and
That's
promises to keep. That's
because
his whole
he needs somewhere to go when all this goes down. He needs somewhere to run to.
somewhere where they can't extradite him over
Yeah.
there. Speaking of some social media stuff, and this was one of the things too. These were all little small things that I didn't know if I wanted to bring it up or have a segment on it in my videos. But I'm sure you heard of these kids. While we speak of, of course, we're going to get back to the Stevie Knight thing and stuff. But some of the other influencers, like this Kai Cenat and stuff about his brother and some of the controversies around that. There was that. It was this comedian Akash and his wife going out there again with this, if you're on code or when do you stop the oversharing, with your friends sort of situation too. Now, a topic came up with this Kai situation. If you're not aware of it, Kai kind of spawned this other guy named Ray from Taiwan, and they started hanging out pretty tough. This is all stuff that I just pick up. I'm not followers of them like that, but if it's a story and I'm bored on YouTube, I'm following whatever the story is. So basically, what it comes down to is, I never liked these guys when I saw it because I never understood the YouTube or the streaming thing. But every time I saw it, I automatically said to myself, "This is some step and fetch it type shit." you know and I always thought it was degrading for black folks, the way that they act, kind of stuff that you don't necessarily want to hide from, but you don't want to let it all hang out too. And I just kind of felt like there was just no code or nothing like that. And how far do people go? Who puts the hand down, who puts the foot down and says, all right, we're looking bad here. But finally, they had this discussion about, Ray kind of assimilating to so-called, and I use quotes here, black culture. And his allowances to use the so-called N-word, and his abuse of it. And what it comes down to is when he would disagree with somebody, the Taiwanese kid this is, then he'd start like doing monkey sounds and shit like that, um, as where there was no line. So now they're looking for some sort of accountability. They're all rich. They all let this shit slide from when, maybe not everybody has the same awareness, but when I saw it from my age, I was just like, this is really some step and fetch it type shit here. And now it seems like they're trying to, or having to deal with it versus have a solution, you know? What do you think about, do are you aware of those guys?
No. Oh, some of the I only know about a few of those content creators that are just I only know a few of them, like those Stevie Knights and them, that really be like, first I
But
think,
Kai, he's like the biggest guy, right?
oh yeah, Kai, the one who I think on Dion Cole said he was very disrespectful because they hired him to um host, like to be a host, and he didn't even know half of the people, and he was kind of rude. He didn't know who to interview, who to speak to, and he was kind of rude. Yeah.
He didn't know the OGs or nobody in the game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Is it crazy really, or is it just a representative of the time really? Like, you know what I'm saying? It reflects. All right, even in those OGs, but even personally, as a community, as a race, it's like we expect that generation to know stuff about MLK and the civil rights when nobody's really teaching them like that or putting it in context besides what they're fed. You know, nobody's
Hmm.
formally really telling people. A lot of people I talk to, Black people too, unless you're in some of those areas, really don't know the history of the Black Panthers and the real civil rights movement and stuff. Because not everybody, a lot of people on Martin's side was timid. Not saying, let me rephrase that. Not the movement or anything itself, but compared to, going all out for revolution, they were considered, well, we're going to overcome, blah, blah, blah. And they thought any thought of Malcolm X or anything was too rebellious, too crazy, too extreme. And a lot of people didn't want to be associated with that. So I'm thinking today, sort of got to be the same deal, depending on how you want to be perceived.
Well, the thing about it is the reason why they don't know a lot about it is because they don't read. There's a generation of young people that's under like 30 who don't read,
Right,
who
right.
who you barely can get them to sit still. They don't even just to put it more in context, they don't even know about Shakespeare and none of that stuff. So they don't read, they don't try to understand. So now that now that history is coming back to bite us. Now they're slowly releasing old stories and old video clips. I know when the whole SNAP benefit thing started happening, I started seeing old clips of interviews of when those benefits, were like, interview with women who had to apply for and how apply for benefits and how those benefits impact them and how they really didn't want to be on any government assistance. It was very embarrassing to them and stuff like that. I bet you heard
Sorry.
all of it.
Just gonna pick my thing up.
That's my computer. I have a Mac computer. Everything's tied to each other. And I'm so mad because the person that calls me should know I'm doing a lie.
Oh no. So it does all that. Let me double check and make sure my sound is off. My sound is mostly off. I do not like to be surprised by my phone, god damn it. I just feel like I get annoyed. So, no, no.
No, is I don't think I have my do not disturb turned on. But no, what happens is like all my devices are connected. So even I think my iPad is in here too.
Is
And
it too
so
like an Apple thing
they're
does that?
all
Apple
ringing.
thing,
They're all
right?
ringing.
Right? It's an Apple thing?
Yes, Apple thing. It
Yeah,
could
crying
be
out
a Samsung. It could be a Samsung thing because I have a Samsung TV and a Samsung phone too. So it can be set up that way too.
loud. Yeah.
But
In what
but
situation do you need all those going off, by the way?
in what situation do I need all those going off
Yeah,
at
yeah.
one
What situation does this come in handy?
time? What situation does it come in? Okay, so sometimes I'm talking on my computer. Like I could be FaceTiming and talking
You're
on my
talking to your computer? Mm,
yeah, because you could FaceTime on your computer, your phone, your iPad.
okay, yeah, yeah, I'm aware of that. All right.
Right. So I can like if my phone needs to be charged, I could transfer my conversation to the computer or my iPad.
Oh,
You
what, all right. How quick would we need and why would have to be like, I'm doing this now. Now I'm doing this.
Well,
Besides forcing it,
they,
besides
they
forcing
all
it,
they all work
how
together.
handy does that
They all work together. That's all. Like there's things that I might be doing on my computer, and I don't want to hold my phone when I could just talk to you while I'm on
hold
my
your phone?
computer working.
You want it to be so much like Minority Report, your future.
What do you mean? Just.
Have you seen the movie? First of all,
Oh yeah, and then my watch rings too, but my watch isn't in here either. So
the minority. So when you're doing the thing on the wall, moving the screens, all
yeah, I
on
get
some real
like
time
text
shit.
messages. Stuff happens. I'm busy.
Gotcha, man.
But
Yeah,
the weird part about it is that my phone is always on do not disturb. Like people literally have to text me and say, I'm trying to call you. I'm like, oh, sorry.
yeah. I don't want to be woken up by the phone. I don't want to hear it. It's just stress coming behind those calls. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, but what I was saying was is that now you're starting to see those old news stories. I used to watch like 60 Minutes back in the day and stuff like that. So I used to watch
For
these
60 minutes.
old yeah, I used to watch these really old, news stories, but they have these old news stories from like the 60s and the 70s where they're talking about like it could be games, it could be anything, and it's cool to see it because they get to see what it was like back then. So you're starting to see those pop up on YouTube.
Oh,
So it
okay.
seems like yeah, it seems like when anything happens now that it reminds us of the past, these kind of like clips show up on YouTube. I wish they would show up more on TikTok because that's where all the young people actually really are. Yeah, like they like to look at 30-second clips, but you're starting to see them. They're showing up as reels, which is why
Right. But,
this is why I'm
okay. So I
posting
hear
that.
what you're saying in terms of like the exposure and everything of that, but without properly putting things in context, I'm afraid it's not as effective as it could be or it should be or, whatever.
Well, it could compel you to look things up. Like for example, I saw a short story and then the name. I said, let me look this up and see, and read a little bit more about it. But we have a generation that don't like to read, so
No.
unless it's affecting them, and now it's affecting them. Housing, all these things are slowly, affect
Let's slow
impacting
down
them.
for a minute. But like, I always think, but reading's changed, right?
What do you
The
mean?
the art or the patience to go back to a book is not as popular. And if they're reading on their devices, they're just a couple clicks away from being interrupted by a friend or something like that, or anything from social media. So I think that has to do with this reading gap that we see everywhere because where you used to go away and read a book or sit down or go to a corner or some sort of chair, you would make reading time.
Right,
Those
but
moments
but
are
if
not what they
they
used to be.
right, but if they, if they incorporate it, you know, people want shortcuts in life. I guess that's what ChatGPT is, right? But reading is very important, especially if you want a job. Like when you go get a job, they give you all these documents to read. So it doesn't make sense.
That's for
Um,
half the people bullshit anyway.
yeah, but people need to read. I mean, there's like a group of young people that just don't read anything. They want, like audiobooks are good, but um reading, there're going to be some young people with autism. I mean, not autism, Alzheimer's, because reading kind of helps with, regenerate your mind. And how do you come up with ideas if you don't read? Yeah.
With everything, concepts, reference points, everything comes along with that reading as well. You know, um, and I really do think it's these electronic devices and stuff that change the game. That really, you're not breaking kids, or much adults, much less the adults. You can't pull them away for a few minutes to do the silent activity of reading. This has become something. Um, that you have to exercise to give your time and the patience to do now versus something that you set time aside. So I think with that, you know, um, the muscle memory, the conditioning of sitting down and sinking in that information versus, reading a little script here, maybe reading an ad here, maybe a illustration, a few paragraphs on trying to stack that history and context means everything about that the kids aren't being as engaged. They don't have reverence for anything in the past or how things came to be. That's why these conservatives are stepping up, some of them betraying black people because they don't understand the history and they're talking the same talking points as the counter
A
group
lot of them is doing it for money. They
and
see
money.
money. They see money in it. And what they do is they regurgitate what they hear other people say.
Right.
So, like for example, Stevie Knight, he uses the same talking points of other people. But if you tell him to read from something out, if he was live and you said read this, he struggles to read the comments. He's
He
struggling
is
to
a
read.
very dumb individual, this guy,
Right.
honestly.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people saying in the chat, but in his comments. But if you really want to test the way someone is, just tell them to read to you out loud. And if you can barely read out loud, then I'm definitely not listening to anything you're saying. The other thing about like,
I was a shitty out loud reader when I was a kid. I had to overcome that.
well, are you a shitty out loud reader now?
No,
Okay, see, there you go. Um,
sometimes, sometimes it's
technology,
horrible.
yeah, but see, the
All right,
technology,
all right.
the one thing that ChatGPT can't do really well, or these AI tools can't do, is they can't gauge the learning level or the reading level or the comprehension level of the person that's asking it questions. So, for
Mm,
example, if I ask you the question and you ask you the question and we're at different comprehension or learning levels, you may not still grasp what the information,
okay.
right? So, common sense would tell the person, "Could you explain it to me where I can understand it?" But how would they? Some people don't even know their level of understanding. If the last time you read a book was in eighth grade, you might want to ask it, could you explain it to me as if I was in sixth grade? You know what I mean?
Mm, mhm,
So,
mhm.
so a lot of the AI tools, right? A lot of people can't their comprehension, they can't understand it, which is why they don't read. I believe that if people read at the level that they're at, they probably would read more.
That's-
See? Yeah.
People, there's another misconception. People are reading, but they're reading the wrong things, right? What do we? People are stuck to their
Yeah.
phones,
It's not.
reading,
It's not.
writing
It's not.
messages,
You still have to
gossip, all
read.
that stuff.
You
Okay,
still
it's not the right way, but it's still it's practice doing it the shitty way. So
right,
they get
but
more into that bullshit.
if you go to a website, right, and you learn and you're trying to, like, let's say you're going to, they're trying to learn how to send money or learn, like I've seen young people trying to learn how to invest, right? And so they're using ChatGPT, right, to explain it to them. And if they're not at that level of understanding, right, they still wouldn't understand it. So then they're gonna tell it to just do it for me, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that they're doing reading. They're reading, you're reading somehow. I mean, when you get paid, they read their paycheck, don't they?
So I'm going to ask you the obvious question: where should they be getting such insight of how to interpret?
Well, I think that well, school is still the same. Like, you still have to read. You still have to learn things in school. You have to sit down and still have to do things.
Do a
They're
little
just
bit on your own.
right. They're just not doing a lot of independent reading. A lot of time, I think like this generation would do better if they had a lot of self help t- um information that's given to them. Like, how do you learn how to, you know like, for example, if you have a car, how do you know when you need to put air in your tires? Like, a lot of them kind of go for self help things.
Okay. Right, right, right,
It
right.
would be nice if the technology can gauge their level of understanding and then kind of adapt to it. Like, if you don't have a clear understanding, or the vocabulary is above you, that it automatically adjusts by how you communicate to it and how you text. Like, that would be a cool thing. I believe.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. What up, Tizzy Tiz in the house and Keeper jumping in there too. What up? What up? Um, shit, just lost my thought. We're saying that last part.
No, I was saying it would be cool if technology can gauge
Oh,
the
right.
your level of learning and adapt to it. I mean, they're working on it. I mean, they got a lot of these AI tools that's inbred into the phones, like Copilot and stuff like that. They do it for kids that have, learning disabilities and stuff like that. But it would be cool to see it kind of an option so that a person won't get embarrassed because it's on their own device, like it's on their own.
Shouldn't be
I
getting embarrassed about nothing. This is the problem, man. They're too fickle about everything. It's like, holy shit, dude. That's what learning is. You get some wrong, you get some back, you fail a couple tests, or you don't always get an A or whatever it is. We keep wanting to protect these kids from what? From what? Everything is so cushiony of what it is for them. Like, stand your ass up. You know, I used to sweat when I told you I wasn't a good reader. I wasn't a great reader when I was a kid. I went to college, got some confidence, read a whole lot and cleaned that shit up. But
It's Rumble.
you say what?
Sorry about that.
Equity. Um, and you know what? You there was no backing down. Maybe once in a while you could say skip, but these are the things that you had to do. Now that develops your character. You have to face your fucking fright because nobody gave a shit about how the hell you felt and how insecure you might have been. This, that. It was like, hey man, this is what I got to do. You learn to deal with your shit. Now there's no more of that for these. Oh, you can't. Compared to what? You can't do that compared to what? Others speaking out. Meanwhile, you're online cussing out some kid, in fucking Jamaica, playing a Tour of Duty or World, whatever the fuck those video games are. That was a bad
But
reference,
see, but
but
see,
something like that.
that's a personal choice. Cause I'm not gonna be sitting online playing games with some young kid. Like, those are personal choice. Those are people who are emotional mature enough. You got a lot of people that are not emotional mature enough, but what makes them
For sure.
different from before? They still exist. I mean, it hasn't changed much. It's just that the world moves a little faster.
I don't even you saying that, fine. But there used to be thresholds
Hmm.
that you could judge people's competence by. Like if you knew this, whatever, okay, you graduated high school, maybe you could do this, that. Same way society might judge you, though, like you're saying, it has changed. Where maybe it used to be like at least you should have a high school education. Nowadays it's like at least you should probably have a bachelor's or some shit out there, to be able to do stuff too, man.
Well,
Um
now they're saying that at least you should have some form of trade. Like, you
look,
need to go to some type of trade school or something. I think they should just integrate self help. We've been talking about this for years. Um, they back in especially in the 70s and 80s, they had cooking classes and integrated in schools. They had those kind of programs. I think that they should just seriously integrate and make that really be, like these kids should be coming out with some form of a trade. Like, that's just, it is
but
what it
at what time? Why are we trying to there's a
is. Earlier
process
on,
as to
earlier
what I
on.
was saying before. Like there's a process and a threshold. Above a certain age, what up? Welcome. Um that you expect to have certain competencies that we have the younger generation that they know it's better for them off of not even 2 solid decades worth of information. Granted, some kids just going to be that mechanic. Some kids are just good enough to fucking make that app and code and do whatever it takes. Yes, there are some that could work on a track like that, but as we complain about all these things in society, where kids are doing whatever, they end schools earlier, there's more PD days, they're taking away the kid job. So between 3 and fucking 11 o'clock, you got these teenagers with nothing to do but time, no money to earn, bullshitting, social media, pranks, all this other exposure, plus making thousands of dollars monthly than I'm making to play some fucking video games on there, man. You know?
So
Um, mhm.
Well, here's the thing. The problem is that you have a lot of kids that want to be entrepreneurs, and they figured out something that we learned a long time ago, right? These young people, and I kind of agree with this a little bit. These young people do not want to do backbreaking work, working 9 to 5, and then only having 2 days off a week so they can recover.
Heard that?
They really don't want to do those things, and so they have to come up with a way to, and plus a lot of these jobs, like especially out here, the fast food jobs, a lot of the fast food restaurants, they hire 16, 17-year-olds. Those are the people, like I when my son was like turned 16 years old. It was like they had an Hispanic manager, and my son was like 16, closing the store and counting out the drawers and everything. This lady was just literally letting them run the store, and
Mhm.
she eventually got caught. But my son was running the store. These teenagers are working those kind of jobs, right? So
Some
they
are. Some are.
right,
Okay.
some are, but what they also want is a social life too. But you're right, they are on their phones. So what is the incentive? Because if they work and then they buy clothes and buy all the things they want and then they play video games, then you're not going to get kids that want to work. Nobody wants to work 12-hour shifts. This is not back then, you know.
Okay, so part of me when you say that also is like sure, nobody wants to, but compared to what? What are they comparing to that they are devaluing without even giving it a shot or going through that threshold? So they
It's
found this hack and
no,
they're
it's what
exploiting
they
this hack without understanding how they got it.
is what they value. Is they value is what we valued, what our parents value, differ from what they currently value now. So what I think is that in schools, what they need to do is teach these young people a skill. Like, instead of them just going through high school and then the last year learning just civics and taking that 4 years of English and all that, they should
Where
be,
there goes putting the country in context then, or
yeah,
trying to.
right. They only offer it as an elective, not a requirement. It should be a requirement that they learn some form of
Okay.
a skill.
Okay. With you there.
That's
With you
what it
there.
is. So
Okay.
that's probably
I'm
that
with
will
you on
solve
that one.
everything. Yeah, that will solve everything. Teach them a skill their sophomore, ninth grade year.
Right. And what I agree with you saying is like they definitely should have a skill. Absolutely lead with something. School hasn't changed in like 100 years or whatever,
And
but
if they
there
want
needs to be something in place that shapes, retains, let's face it, retains the population for a certain amount of developmental time until they're able to go such ways, you know and they're not getting smarter. You ask a kid to do basic things today, what you would be expected to know and do as an individual as a kid, they have no clue about tools. They have no references for anything. They don't fix anything. They don't do anything. Things are complicated for them. Um, but then
But
again,
see, the problem
you
is,
think of
and
the
I
traditional way of doing things.
the
Go ahead.
problem is, I can tell you the problem. Middle
Hmm.
school and junior high. It seems like in middle school and junior high, it's like a waiting room. Like they're just waiting for them to mature enough to go into ninth grade. It's like a waste of time. Like they should be um learning, something more.
You say learning something, but you can't do anything with these kids now. You can't
But
tell
I
them
mean
shit.
that's
You
the
can't
problem.
fail them, and it's not even you failing them. It's you giving them the grade they deserve for not doing shit. But somehow there's a fucking rule in there that they could be as incompetent as they want, be barely literate, but you have to find some way to drag some grades together and pass them. That's what it's come down to.
No, I think it's more so like they care more about, their emotions, and that's where all their hormones hit. Like during high school is where all their hormones is starting to, race. They should be learning how. Like when I was in junior high, I learned how to type. Like I took typing. I took typing. I think my son learned like manage. I think I learned about parenting. We had the little egg
Yeah,
baby in junior high.
yeah.
A lot of, it's different. I think junior high is just like a waiting room. I think they're so more concerned with their emotional and their development. They're still treating them like they're in elementary school and junior high.
Oh, absolutely. And in some places in high school too. And it doesn't do any favors because there's more transparencies. Things are a little more harsh out there when they're coddled, and nobody even tells them that they're wrong about anything. That when they have a real life situation, they freeze or they don't handle it well, or they have this crash fest because it's the first time they had to face anybody with a differing opinion. This is what we're developing, that there's so many escape instead of just doing whatever the hell you got to do and being accountable for it. But unfortunately, yeah, a lot of school becomes like this huge way. I mean, the thing with the hormones, this, that, the other. Yeah, there's that, but parents got to pack them up and push them in this
Right,
building for a few hours.
instead of asking them, hey, would you like to be like to do plumbing, this and that, they should do an assessment and say, listen, in this course you're going to learn plumbing, basic plumbing skills. You're going to learn basic, like it's a requirement, mandatory. They
I
should
think
look
they
at the
can, but
job.
now
I mean,
they,
like,
we make the net is very wide now, so we got to accept because of all that
how?
careful and coddling you bullshit. Because you got to accept everybody. Everybody,
Well, all they have to
how far
do
they
is
keep moving, you can't fail. How far they
all they
keep
have to
adjusting
do
those
is
lines and everything too.
all they have to do is look at the jobs that's in the area, and the schools adapt to what's in that area or nearby or the near city. And whatever the job market is, they can determine what the type of job market is. If the school is in a manufacturing town and there's manufacturing jobs, that would be the exact trade that the kids will learn at that particular school. If the
Yeah, I
if
don't know if I agree
if
with that.
there's nothing but Walmarts and fast food restaurants and stuff, like they learn how
Then
to
you're just
become
creating a
servers.
factory for the kids.
Well,
You're creating a factory for them to get prepped up and then
it's better.
quit all their ambitions and work in this goddamn
And then
factory.
have them make some money. They do it for prisons. Why can't they just do it for schools?
Damn, now that you're relating these bright, bushy-eyed tail students with prisoners.
No, but
Holy
they
shit.
can do it. They
That's
can do it
that's
in
some true
school.
school
Like
to prison
instead of
pipeline right there.
that's not. But no, they instead of having prisoners learn how to do it, they can teach young kids. Wouldn't it be
Yeah,
nice if a
I don't
kid?
know. Then that's the whole
Wouldn't it be
argument of what the
nice?
school's
Wouldn't it
supposed
be
to be doing. You're
nice?
like, get your ass in there and fix some cars.
Wouldn't it be
Exact,
nice? Wouldn't it be nice if a kid could
exactly,
come home
exactly, Keeper.
Look, wouldn't it be nice if a kid could come home and actually
Sweat
replace
hub.
the washer under the sink?
I got it,
Like,
mom. You get the teenager little tool belt. This is
yes,
around the
and that'd
house.
be like a requirement too. Like,
No,
he needs a tool belt. Uh, they
that
they
would be
they
nice.
tell
But
you
these
to
kids,
send a
you're
kid.
asking too much.
No,
That might be nice in your if your son did that stuff for you. He jumps on that. Maybe in your household, you're thinking of this, but I do
I'm
not see
just
your
saying
average kid with
overall. I'm
video
just saying
games and everything that they
overall.
do
Cutting
slash
grass.
fix toilets
Yeah,
on the side of that.
fixing toilets. Yeah.
They
They'll
have
be they'll
that.
be pissed off.
They need to get these kids to start working back at Burger King and shit like
They
that
already
versus
they already are. They literally
no,
be
they're
working
not. I
for
see
yes.
old ass people working where kids should
Well,
be
where
working.
I'm at, where I live, Where I live in Texas, it be nothing but teenagers working at Burger King, Chick-fil-A. They're not old people working there; they're young people. But
I don't know. Maybe
I
things are
do.
different.
Yes, I don't know where you at, but like I
Maybe
said,
they can't get out in the hot Texas sun. I don't know what the deal is over there. It's
in the
different.
hat,
But
Texas.
and everywhere else in America is like that. It's tough for kids to get the kid jobs that we used to have and shit, man. Not so
Man,
readily available.
they
And
are getting those jobs. They just don't want to work. They don't have the work
well, that's
ethic.
true.
They don't have the work ethic. You know, they I was at Walmart the other day and the kids all had AirPods. They were standing there, listen, they were standing there where, you know, you bag your own groceries and they just stood there and I saw this lady and she had all her kids and this little boy, he was you know, the guy was like a younger male and the kid was like blocking him from going and the guy worked at Walmart and the kid was like standing in front of him trying to keep him from going and because he didn't see an adult working, he saw a little young person working, so he was playing with the guy and then next thing you know there was skittles all over the ground. So and the young male got frustrated because he knew he had to clean that up.
Kids don't know how to act, man. Everything's a joke to them. Also, is the other thing, man. I don't know. We need that threshold. I get the purpose of like finding your purpose, beeline it over there, but there's some developing. Maybe the reason why it's so strung out is because they need some developmental time on top of that too, you know? Because I don't know, we're just working with a bunch of idiots. Just the fact that you can't get good service, now you've incorporated time for people to get off their phone to pay attention to what they're supposed to be doing as you approach the business. They're not ready for you. They don't want to work. Everything's better. Everybody's a content creator. I'm a content creator. Before you even had a job to know what a real 9 to 5 is or something with skills, now you're a content creator. Nothing. I mean, if you're really doing it, like the few people that we know that are really doing content creation and all that sort of shit, um, uh, sorry, getting the phone, do all that. But not everybody is a goddamn I hate watching a video and then near the end they're like, guys, I'm really trying to get paid to do this. Help me out. Do this. It's like, come on, man. So I don't know. It's not only because
I
I
don't
had to put
know
super
because
duper work in to do the shit and really, go through training and take all the steps that I'm against it. But I do think there has to be something there.
I don't know
What
because
do you
I'm a
think?
content. I don't know because I'm a content creator.
You're a content creator. You're one of those. I'm a content creator, and everything else. They could be working full job everywhere else, but yeah, I'm a content. And this is where it comes from. And you're talking about the kids see it as being an entrepreneur, but this is the gig economy bullshit that
But
we're
see,
talking about. We want kids hired to do gig economy, not real working stuff in the economy.
I don't really see myself as a content creator. I mean, people will say that I create some content. Like if I do something, I'm creating some content for people to watch. To
Yeah, I
me,
think you are
it's
sort of.
like a hobby. It's like, oh, I'm just doing something that's entertaining. I'm entertaining myself, like a hobby or something. Because I'm not making any money.
Yeah, I get all that. I mean, I would never consider myself that. I'd have to do too much shit to even be out there that I don't look. I wouldn't even give out my Instagram shit like that. I would cam up if I was doing this thing full time and all that. But for now, I'm just a guy kind of talking, not doing all the stuff. And it's not like I've seen some other people try to pretend that they're so righteous. Like they have all these morals things they wouldn't do to grow their channel and stuff, but at the same time, they want it to grow like that too. So, I would definitely not call, but perhaps there's different degrees of content, so-called content creators that would call themselves content creators, of how much you want to involve yourself. So, there was a time nobody was, I didn't even know people made money like that off of YouTube, dude. I
Hmm.
feel like shit. Like, when did this happen? Yeah, obviously, I'm so behind on everything, but I don't know, man. What's getting messages here? I get messages like this at this time. It's like, what? Certain family, what happened? But that later. Um, yeah, man. We kids gotta. The sad thing about it is we're in the age of so much information being available to you. How these kids aren't working and shit. Like, where do they get money to buy these phones? They have more technology in their pocket than
They're not.
30 years
They're
ago.
not.
We would
They're
have a
not.
whole
They're
computer
not.
lab.
They're not buying the phones. What's happening is they're on somebody else's plan. They offer zero. For 36 months, zero. Um,
Right, right, right,
so
right.
it's yeah. And then if they're students, they get a huge discount for everything. So if they're in college or whatever, everything's a discount. Prime is a discount. Uber Eats is a discount. Some of these young people are Ubering. Some of these young people are. So
And I
it's
think they capitalize with all the special and codes and yo, every time I drive up to McDonald's before it's like, hi, what do you want? It's like, code or whatever the hell it is. It's like, no, could I just get a, number
uh,
one, whatever the hell it
right.
is?
And these young
Everything's got a
people,
thing.
and when my son was like in like right before high school, he was using coupons. He would, if he bought something from the McDonald's app, he got something for free, two for one. It was, his friends, they were hustling with
They
coupons and
know that
stuff
stuff.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Hungry dudes know how to do that stuff. That's definitely made for them. I remember going in to get some food at one of these places because I heard whatever the price was, whatever it was going to be, I think during lunchtime or something like that. So I go to pay, and I'm like, well, I thought it was this, and they're like, that's through the mobile app,
yeah.
which doesn't sound like much, but for me, I gotta go to the thing, I download it, gotta look for it, then wait and probably input my information for the shit. Like, just yeah, yeah, it's not meant for people like me, of course. You know. Holy, annoying. So I don't know. I think wrapping it up. I think a school system that's been the same for like 100 years, kind of having the same purpose, sort of thing, definitely has to be shaped up for like the next 200 years. What's
Instead
going to
of
be essential, what's not going to be essential, what mandatory time is there, and these things that you have to create before letting people out there. What roles social media or even phones, man, that should be disabled by the time they walk on the school property, should be disabled as well. So something has to be done, something drastic. I don't think it should be as liberal as letting the kids decide what's good for them because there's adults that don't know what the hell is good for them. So and the
I
fact that they
think
don't try to end up being failed entrepreneurs, that somehow they get exposed to everything, and making a decision with that is my thought.
I think that what needs to happen is instead of them coming up with a job service for adults and welfare to work programs in junior high school,
Mhm.
in high school they should in trade schools that's designed to take your money. I think that young people like should be in high school. They should be offering them pharmacy tech jobs in high school. Like those are the things and training for that. That's what they should be doing. Those things.
And then I hear what you're saying. There's so many different reasons and how to do things. That's funny because I was preparing that. I remember we had it. I was preparing that in the background too. Um, Yeah, I don't know. And everything's just a matter of convenience. So kids actually do have more time on their hands to do these things. Part of the time, even up into university, when I never had my own computer back then, I had to go to like three different places a night, get cut off from the library, pretend I live in one of the residencies until one, so I could use the little computer lab in there, and then maybe I got to borrow somebody else's to finish a paper that I was working on. So there's things kids don't have to even go anywhere. Nobody really had a printer back in the day when you finish your paper. Only special places or labs had. You don't even know how convenient things are for you now. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
I
all that
don't.
time
I don't
put into what you had to do to be resourceful.
well, I know when I went to school, the first thing I bought was a computer. with the
Oh, bougie.
so yeah, because that's what the money was for. The money was for to buy a computer, to buy books. That's what I bought. I didn't spend it on, I spent it
I
on.
didn't have a computer till much later. I'd even use the dingy community laptop from the library. Be one of those dudes. Go in, there you go, use it like it's mine. But yeah, I mean, even that kind of stuff where you had to go, to a lot of these locations, those exercises or skills even are lost on these kids that just you could do everything. It's good that you could do everything from the comfort of your own home, but in terms of doing these things, knowing how to, it builds more character than just getting the information. It's how you get the information, how you have a conversation with the librarian and the people, and how you find the books and put your information together versus this. Just group it all together, ask Chat GPT to blah, 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 blah. And then you walk away virtually gaining no knowledge from this
Well,
project that you
they
had to do.
can't. Well, you can't use ChatGPT for everything because they do catch it for plagiarizing. So, but it does make a little, like
They're
if I
not catching
want,
blackface.
listen,
It's not catching blackface
if
and
I
put it out
want,
there. They're not catching
if
these
I
kids.
wanted to organize my recipes and do a good job at that. So
Oh, nerd. Look at this nerd. Were you gonna? Did you want to play this guy or what?
no, I just wanted to put in context of who we're talking about. So this guy here is called. His name is Stevie Knight. So about 6 weeks ago, this guy decided to give his bad review on Sinners, right? And so we could play a little bit of what he was saying, but that's pretty much what we're getting commentary on. But first, I need to know what
Uh,
do you thought of the movie first?
I'm gonna ask my opinion before Stevie's, or before we
Okay.
even get into it.
Okay. Well,
Um, but, all right,
okay.
go.
Well, let's see what Stevie says.
Yeah,
Okay, let's do that.
go ahead.
Okay.
Fair use, fair use. This idiot.
Trash.
Yeah, I hate this guy. Yeah.
I don't
For
get
good
it, bro.
reason too.
I mean, I
I
do
give him a
get it.
chance.
Sinners was
Ass.
ass. I don't get it, bro. I mean, we get it. We get it. But
It was made for
for a reason. We gonna talk about it though. But that movie was fucking trash. I'm so disappointed. That movie was butt cheap.
Yeah, and then why y'all gas it?
Gas. That movie
For
was
what? It was not
And
good.
then we thought we was the only ones, but then I went to the bathroom and I was talking to bros that just watched it, and they was confused as shit. Like, bro, what the fuck did I just watch? What up? What up? What up, Night Nate?
Okay. That's all I wanted to play.
Wait, what's the next word he was gonna say? What up, night? What? Is he
Okay.
gonna say what I
It's your
think?
boy Stevie Knight. About to get on one of these things.
Bring it
You
back. Bring it back.
feel me? What's good to watch?
Okay.
Night watch. About to get on one of these things. What the fuck did I just watch?
All right, hang it.
What up? What up? What up, Night Nation? It's your boy Stevie Knight.
Oh, Night Nation.
About to get on one
All
of these
right. I
things.
thought I
You
was going
feel-
somewhere else. All right.
Okay. Anything that he said isn't even worth talking about. But this guy took his baby mama, who, as you can see, non-black.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was trying to gauge.
Yeah, to go see Sinners. And then he said it was trash. And he has to be the dumbest, like out of all, he's handsome, but he has to be like the most dumbest, one of the few dumbest black men that I've seen on YouTube to this day. Like literally, after I seen this, I seen people giving commentary on him, and he's a black MAGA. He's definitely anti-black. He's not intelligent.
He's a Hodge twin. He's a single Hodge twin.
He's not intelligent, not bright
At all. He's not articulate.
At all.
He can't be articulate. Yeah, I feel the same about this idiot also. First of all, let me just shoot into this. It's like, how does a this is objective. He's not a bright individual, and we could break that down many ways, man. But you see a character. How does a character like this get such a following? Perplexes me.
Exactly.
You know, people follow these people, and I guess it's some of the same people that'll follow Fresh and Fit, and some of these other
Yeah, and Byron
guys out there.
and
Just
all
how do
those.
they get this following of non-thinkers, man?
Exactly.
So yeah, that it's a good characterization of this guy. Yeah. So his latest thing, ABBA put him to the test of this ABBA of ABBA and Preach. Had a little back and forth with him, and it's really brought Stevie to the forefront of not being able to articulate his points, of just repeating talking points, not really be able to back up or anything that he actually believes. It revealed a lot of that stuff from him as well. So the reason why I think him reviewing Sinners here is uh, such a problem, is because it reflects his general attitudes about his own race and women, what's expected, and of course his limited knowledge of anything in history also, right? Yes, definitely. He's been whitewashed, beyond whitewash. And
Now, if I was to, and I got some points here. So what he did was he reviewed this movie like it was a regular vampire flick. And if anybody ever seen Sinners, this wasn't a regular vampire flick. He ignored all the historical context about the Jim Crow Mississippi, and
right,
he missed the metaphor about vampires and the exploitation of black music. He didn't even understand why the music was central to the story. And
right,
he
right,
does this movie like it was a Marvel movie instead of a cultural horror drama.
right,
so so that's where 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 he failed, right? So that's me being nice. He's clearly ignorant. Um and it shows. It's like he doesn't understand black culture, and this is goes back to what you were talking about earlier on. Like there's a generation who doesn't read, doesn't know anything about their own history,
right.
right? And then goes along with these talking points to make money. Like he literally does this to make money, making anti black statements consistently, trying to exploit a group of people who um for financial gain, like just basically trying. This is if I talk about pro black things, I'm not going to make any money. Who
Mhm.
wants to hear that? So
Right.
now let's drop him off and put our screenshot up.
Oh, okay. Oh, are you're not going to show any of it?
Oh
The
yeah, you
review.
want?
You're good.
Oh, okay,
I
well,
mean,
if you
whatever. If you wanted to, and then go into it,
okay,
it's up to you. I think what do you want?
okay, all right, let's go.
Not too much. I don't want to go off too
Feel
much
me? Was
with
going to
TV.
watch night watch, man. Yeah, nice little change of pace, bro. Cause we doing a movie review. Before we do it, like always, man, Peter Drip, shop StevieKnight.com for that.
Dude is whack.
You don't care
You know
about.
what I'm talking about? I was hyped, bro. You feel me? Like it always happens to me, though, bro.
What up,
It always
PC?
happens to me when things are hyped. They never live up to the expectation. There's that, but then this just tanked, as far as I'm concerned, bro. Warning: if you hadn't seen it and you plan on seeing it, don't even watch this because I'm about to give you all the spoilers, bro. But yeah, me and my girl decided to go pull up and watch it finally because of just the promotion, but the same. But then like all the positive responses from the movie, bro. Like the reaction, the reviews from the movie have been crazy, bro. Talking about 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, 8.3 on IMDb. Like I don't even really rock with Rotten Tomatoes, bro, because they be on that
This
different type of time. IMDb, I refer to them as pretty accurate as far as reviews are concerned, bro. So when I seen that, And then on top of it, bro, like I am a horror movie lover,
No,
dog.
you're
It's my
not.
favorite genre of
No, he's
movies,
not,
bro.
DC.
And it's
No, he's not.
vampires on top of it. And I'm a vampire enthusiast, bro. Like I'm a vampire buff. You feel me? I like everything vampires, bro, from the 30 Days and Nights to
Oh, no,
hell, the
the list
Blaze,
is
bro.
references.
Right? Underworlds. You know what I'm talking about? Let Me In. The Draculas, bro.
That's too
Hell,
much.
I fuck with Vampire in Brooklyn. Goddamn. Yeah, I even fuck with Twilight. You know what I'm saying? Like, real talk. The first time I seen Twilight,
That's
dog, I was like,
whack.
man, what the fuck is this gay? I remember like yesterday, dog. I went and peeped through the red box because everybody was gassing it. Kind of the same
Do it.
situation here, right? And I'm watching it.
Let me pause it. So just the way he communicates, you can already tell that he didn't even understand what he was watching. Like, this is
Right.
crazy. Like, this
Right.
guy is so ignorant. It's
This is like
insane.
little kid description of a
Yeah.
movie. Yeah, yeah. I saw a movie. There were vampires. There's. I like vampires. I saw in his reference vampire in Brooklyn. Like this is what are you gonna reference? Blackula next? This guy, he doesn't go back into the monster era or anything like that. Come on, dude. It's so he just sounds like a little kid. And first of all, reviewing movies not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So the balls of this guy already being inarticulate, um, crashing out all this stuff, to think he's going to explain, and I feel like, and I don't know his page. How many movies has he maybe covered before? I get the idea like it's just not his thing, but he thinks he could do it anyway without expressing any sort of skill of why he makes a good movie review individual. And he's just coming out with this. He feels like he's doing his job by shitting on this movie.
Yes. And I don't know who he's appeasing. So let's see what else he says.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I'm about to see some vampire shit, and I see these vampires' skin all twinkling in the sun. Like, what type of gay shit is this, bro? But then when I understood what it was about, you know what I'm talking about, I mean, it's vampires, but it's pretty much a whole Romeo and Juliet type of situation, like, werewolves, vampires, same thing, but underworld, you know what I'm saying? Dope storyline.
This guy's such
right?
a
So once I
nerd.
understood that, I rock with Twilight. I understood the
Fucking
concept.
nerd.
But this right here, especially when you classify it as horror. You know what I'm talking about? Especially when you classify it as horror. I mean, and I am as critical comes when it comes to movies, bro. That's why I don't even
No, you're not.
try to go watch new movies these days, bro, because can't nobody come up with no fresh ideas and, new scripts. I feel like they keep recycling the same type of plot over and over and over again using different actors. You feel me? So I can't even tell you last time me and my girl went to an actual movie, bro, because nothing has been
Face of the
alluring
blade.
to us. But anyway, we pulled up to this, man, because just the response from it is viral. Like this is the one. You know what I'm talking about? I heard people getting up and clapping after. I'm like, to a horror movie? Okay, say less. Let's ride. I was looking forward to it and shit. And I don't usually look forward to nothing, bro. But I was looking forward to going to the movie, watch shit with my girl, bro. I'm telling you, 30 minutes in this motherfucker, me and my girl looking at each other like, I'm serious. Like, maybe it's just us, because we often find ourselves in that type of element, bro. Like, we are so critical on films that we often like look at each other like, bro, this shit ass. Where everybody else think it's the world. We're like, man, maybe it's just us. But it's clearly not us, bro. Because after the movie, I'm talking to people in the films that share the same sentiments as I did. So I know I'm not crazy. But before I dive into my feelings about it, I need to lay out what happened. You know what I'm saying? The plot or whatnot. So we're on the same page. But in the plot ain't even nothing, bro. It ain't even nothing, dog. It's going on during Jim Crow. Right? I think it's either Mississippi or New Orleans. I don't forgot. It don't even matter, bro.
He
It's
doesn't
back
even
in
know
Jim
where.
Crow.
And that's
with
one
the
of the
black
main
folks.
important.
You feel me?
Pause
Michael B.
that.
Jordan is one of the main characters, but he plays himself twice.
He doesn't. The South is Mississippi or whatever, Tennessee. It's the Delta. It specifically starts Clarksdale, Mississippi. The place of this moron. This is the thing about doing shit that's not in context. Like, you're already showing your ignorance there of where the story is, where it took place. I'm not even sure if he's going to mention Robert Johnson or anything along this. He's so uneducated. It's embarrassing watching this guy fumble around. Go ahead with the plot. So let's go ahead and continue what this moron says.
Okay.
Yes.
because he plays a twin of himself, so it's two of him, and they like some prohibition gangsters back then, right, making money the illegal ways or whatnot, and they hit a lick in Chicago, come back to wherever it is, I can't remember where it was, but back to their hometown or whatnot.
Yeah, I remember.
Buy a barn from an alleged KKK member who claims he's not KKK no more, and they turn the barn into a juke joint. Well, that's the intention. And then like the first 30 minutes is just developing this plot where they going around recruiting who they need to run the juke joint for the grand opening that night, right? So they pick up a musician, they pick up a cook, they pick up a security guard. You know what I'm saying? Highlight their little stories or whatnot. You see the main love interest, Josh Allen's girl, right? Pretty white girl, and she's involved with one of the twins.
Pretty white girl.
By the
Pretty
way,
white girl.
she wasn't a white girl though. She was
Right. Octoroon.
Right, she was off the room, but he didn't know that.
You know what I'm saying? And then juke joints popping, right? And then vampires randomly pull up. They just randomly pull up. Like the initial introduction to the vampires, when it was initial, you see a man running through grass to a house, and that's how they introduce the vampires. I understand the connection of the vampires to the barn with the music or whatnot, which I'll get into later. But eventually the vampires pull up to the juke joint, want to get in, right? Eventually,
You skipped
the
a
black
whole
folks
bunch
and the
of shit.
vampires bump heads. Vampires end up fucking the majority of the black folks up. And really, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
Like the story.
What a moron.
That's pretty. Look, that was it. Like basically,
That was it. The end.
showed up. They fucked all the black people up, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
So let me see if I got the Stevie. Let me see if I got the Stevie review here as report. So I've never seen this movie before. Stevie, by his account of it, opens up in maybe Louisiana, maybe Mississippi, Tennessee, fuck it, somewhere around there is where the movie opens up, according to Stevie. And these brothers, maybe gangsters, what he didn't even call it the sawmill. He called it something else. They bought this thing. Maybe it was from maybe a clan member. Maybe it wasn't. Its intended purposes. It's going to be a juke, but he said we'll get back to all of that sort of deal. So he buys it. Vampire comes out of nowhere. Then they all decide to go to the bar, to the juke, and they burn down the bar. The end. I'm just thinking about the white lady, the pretty white lady. Anything is funny that his description throughout the whole thing. The only positive attribute that he attached to anything was the pretty white woman.
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, it gets better. It gets better. Okay. Watch
Please.
this.
The story is there's not much there at all, and there's so many gaping holes throughout just the literal script. And it took entirely too long for the motherfucker to develop for a horror story. And you got to understand my perspective. I'm coming in this motherfucker looking for horror, looking for vampire, looking for dope shit, right? I will say the acting was phenomenal. Acting was superb. You know what I mean? Cinematography was cool. You know what I mean? Like the production of it was cool. But as far as just the script and what they were doing with it, bro, it's like.
So what did you like, idiot? Spit it out.
Right, what start, bro? It's only gaping holes. Like at the beginning.
Throw a tomato at the screen. After recording the video, I was on.
What made you guys think that the movie was trash?
Man, that's just ass, bro.
How? In what regards?
So his homeboy called, and so now while he was doing the review, so now him and his homeboy gonna talk about it.
So he thought it was a good idea to have his homeboy to keep it going.
Yes.
While his homeboy questions him. This is fucking hilarious. All right, let's go.
In it as far as the movie, because I'm a horror buff and I'm a vampire dude, bro. So as far as executing a horror film, including vampires, they dropped the entire ball on that, bro.
Yeah, no, I told you that. Remember, I said it's not about the vampires.
I know it's not about the vampires, but if you're gonna use vampires, you gotta do it right. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be half-assing shit.
The origin or something,
like what?
Background.
For example, bro, like when Michael B. Jordan and his vampire brother twins are fighting, that don't happen in the vampire world, bro. You can't have hand-to-hand combat with no vampire, bro. They can rip your fucking arms off and shove them up your ass. That shit wasn't believable. Like, bro, pinning a fucking vampire, you're fucking right. And then the girl crying because her
Wait, all
husband
right,
out there, knowing there's a bunch of
Let's
vampires
debunk
out there, and
that.
she invites
Let's
all the
debunk.
vampires in. Like, that shit was fucking goofy.
We'll debunk all that as he's going. So he says there shouldn't have been a scene where a regular person fights a vampire because there's no such thing as hand-to-hand combat with vampires. Every fucking movie, everything you've seen is hand-to-hand combat with vampires. From Blade, from his stupid underworld bullshit that he likes. This guy is such a bullshit. He makes it up, hoping nobody questions him on the bullshit. So first of all, that's false. They might be super outpowered as they showed, especially the end confrontation between Sammy and Remick as well, because they did a hand-to-hand at the end, but he needed help all sorts of ways. He slowed him down. So that's bullshit on what Stevie's saying. What's his next one?
Okay.
True.
What's the part that I thought that was very, very bad on that part?
And then they actually fighting the vampires too. It's like 5 or 6 of them that don't have no combat experience out besides Michael B. But they handling fucking vampires with bullets. And you can't, vampires don't die from bullets. But you see these vampires getting fucked up from bullets. 100 vampires coming in to fuck with them, they would have been dead in 2 seconds. How they just dropped the white guy just randomly, like he ran.
So one of the movies I think Tiz also mentioned earlier, what's his name? Coogler got his inspiration from a few different places, and one of the places he did was Dusk Till Dawn as well in that scene. So other places and other movies where directors made those choices for regular people to fight off. That's never happened before. Guy, in some of the most popular films that came out, he's like a little kid. Like it wanted it to be. It was too subtle for him. It wasn't superhero enough. It wasn't overpowering and sci-fi enough for him.
It wasn't Marvel enough for him.
It wasn't Marvel. Two of the things there's a whole bunch, and I don't even know if we'll get to covering this whole movie or whatever. But there's a couple things about this that he did that is actually so subtle that will get you, not even a jump scare, but adding to the suspension. One of the things is when what's her name, the Octoroon pulls the gun out on Remick to get away from the situation, so she's going back towards the juke, and all you see is Remick leave his feet. That was it. And then it cut to the next scene of the lady jumping on the stage, but just stuff like that. While I'm talking about it, I know we'll go back to this, but there are two things that Remick does that, as fantastic as the movie was shot and as good as they put the CGI and some of the effects, I don't know if you noticed it, but when he starts doing his little Irish dance, he does a kick thing with his feet.
Yeah,
where they put special effects into, because a human being would never be able to kick as much as he did in the air. You know the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
He does a little kickoff thing, and then later on he kicks towards the camera, which I'm pretty sure they put another somebody's or that was an effect, because there's no way he could have kicked up that high in that short amount of time. But the little attention that they pay to the details, and then the screens and the other things that they use, some of the technology they use to get the feels and some of that scenery and cinematography that he likes so much as well. So he's like a little kid, because he didn't see vampires coming from the sky like Batman from fucking Gotham building. He's like, see this. So he's not even qualified to be speaking on the shit that he's speaking about right now. So
it gets better.
Them through a field and go to this house. Like they didn't provide no backstory. It's just like they needed a random vampire to pop up to get the story going. Like you need to provide some context. They could have left that part out and just continue with the story of how powerful music is and just introduce the vampires then, because then it would make sense of how these vampires came across to Buddy, because the music was that powerful. Like he just happened to be randomly at some town with his family, and then he hears the music and now he's there. And then the fucking Indians just that was
Native Americans were chasing him to kill him, because remember, Native Americans were hunters of the vampires.
Yeah. But that was it. They just had them in there for 2 seconds, and then at the end
he did not understand the whole point of the Indians being there. He not only that, he didn't even understand why they left before it got dark.
Right. All
like
of that.
He really missed that. Like he didn't even tie it to, like in his mind, that he's like they appeared somewhere, but then when they being chased, and then he's like, yeah, they're being chased. Like, what movie was he watching? Did he fall asleep?
Right.
Indians are there.
So he doesn't even play it in just a minute, but doesn't even mention anything about the tension of why there would be tension towards Indians and this white man on the land and approaching his land like that as well, you know? So yeah, all of that. Anyway, that was it.
But they didn't.
Did you think that they were going to show up too again or no?
I thought that they were going to include them some other point. You know what I'm saying? These some fucking killers. They know how to handle vamps, and you gonna just if vamps running loose in your town or whatever, you gonna just let the motherfuckers go? That's no stupid. And then you're not gonna tell the bitch that there's a vampire in the crib. You're gonna just let her fucking get killed. Like, to let her know something. Like, you about to die if you leave him in there. He's like, hey, I just hope you have a good night. Now, he's not who you think he is. We're gonna bounce. That shit was stupid.
Yeah, he tried to beat the fence
about the Indians.
He didn't want the vampires to come after him.
He wanted to smoke. I want him. Bring his ass out. He's gonna fuck his ass up. But he was on some they know what the fuck they doing type of time. But then, all right, well, if you kill Vamps, you gonna let this vamp kill this family? And then, like, I didn't know how woke this shit was until after I read about all the double meanings and shit, dog. But once I realized what the fuck the movie was about, it's just like a woke propaganda piece. Because
what was woke about it?
Because the meaning behind the movie is the vampires are irrelevant. The vampire is a metaphor for white people appropriating black culture. So the black people are in the juke joint having a black time. It's black owned. We having a good time. This is our shit. And then they playing the music, which attracts the vampires, which is also the white people. And they want to get in and get down with the black folks, but the black folks don't let them. So then the vampires start playing their music, saying we can get down and shit too, right? But they still don't let them in. And then they eventually get in and they take over. So it's like the white people taking over black spaces, right? That's why they try to emphasize how important music is, specifically to black people. When they had that scene where Buddy's going crazy playing the blues, and they show like how powerful it is, and you see how the future, and you see the past, and how it's rooted in our DNA and all that. They're trying to show how powerful music is to the black culture to emphasize that point.
Did you like that scene at least?
So here's the thing: what he keeps calling them white people, but he's not saying they're Irish people. Right. So there's a significance for why they're Irish. Like, this guy is an idiot. He's just an idiot.
Right. He draws none of those connections. Right. This is why he says the first 40 minutes, whatever, were slow to him. Because while they're building characters and building the context, basically laying down the exposition of everything you're supposed to know, because it takes off. The second half takes off, gets into all that other worldly shit. Then you'll really understand why it's coming together like that.
But his friend is white. That's the weird part about it. But here you go.
How they meshed all the music together and stuff?
No. I was already off. I was already off at that point, bro. I was already pissed at that point.
Did you read this woke stuff before you went?
No, after. But that's why the movie's so appealing to the black community specifically, is because they're purporting this message behind it, bro. It's like about culture vulture, white appropriation, and how white people are just, vampires sucking black energy.
I liked it because of like the way that they showed it, like the authenticity of like the costumes, the town.
Production was fucking phenomenal.
The production was good as shit. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan did his thing.
The acting was phenomenal. The production was phenomenal, but the story was whack. Like, if you just think about it, the plot was it was stupid. Vampires pull up on black people partying, and then that's it. There was no plot. Like, okay, what the fuck did I just watch? And then the whole shootout at the end was fucking whack. It was like, why? And that whole concept, like, if the KKK,
not when you're breaking it down like that, I see it from that standpoint, 100%.
And then if the KKK really wanted to fuck up shop and fuck up black people, why the hell they gonna wait till the juke joint is closed? You really want to kill a bunch of black folks? You pull up when the club is hot and take them all out. Then you gonna just kill the owners the next day? That was stupid. And then the scene with all the vampires died, that's fucking whack. The vampires just stayed out there and saw the sun come up and just volunteered to die. Like, y'all saw the sun coming up, like, your master's about to get killed, but y'all don't have to stand out there and get killed with him. And they made it abundantly clear in the movie that, like, usually in vampire movies, you kill the head vampire, all the vampires die. But they made it clear in this shit that that's not the way it was. You got to kill that fucking vampire. So if the head vampire, even at the end, like the end of credits, Michael B. Jordan's girl was still alive. So the head vampire had nothing to do with them. So all them vampires just stayed out there and died for nothing. They could have fucking left. Seeing the sun come up. That part was stupid. I was really gassed when you see the movie, right? And I knew it was gonna.
Let me ask you this: What did these vampires start having supernatural intelligence to become these hyper intelligent vampires to the point where they just know these things, or like, what is he talking about?
So he missed the point where they say over and over, they have their memories, they have their thoughts, and they feel what they feel.
Exactly.
So when the point when one was getting hit or when he got sliced in the head with the guitar, they all felt that shit, more or less. So what is he even talking about? And they showed when they struck him how the rest reacted that were around him. What is this guy talking about? Jesus.
Don't fall short of my expectations because that shit happens all the fucking time. But then once I started going with it and connecting the dots, like, oh, this shit is fucking ass. Because they contradict themselves, bro. If the message behind the fucking movie is to highlight appropriation of black culture, how white people do that shit, what's the point of having the pretty white girl involved with Michael B. Jordan be the lead cause of everything happening? Right? It's because of her the vampires got in the motherfucking the crib. The point of the movie is to demonize white people, right? So the white people come in and take over. But the white people that y'all are championing is like, she's culturally down, like she grew up with us and shit. But she the pretty white girl that lets the vampires in. Like she's the reason everything popped off. She got Michael B. Jordan, everything popped off because of that. And then at the same time, if you want to empower black people, bro, why would you have this big black fat girl be the representation of like the black savior woman? She was the one that knew the shit. She knew how to kill the vampire. She was the one to put everybody on game. You would represent the black woman in that regard, this big fat black girl, but then have the white girl, the pretty white girl, the pretty motherfucker, and she's the reason why everybody got fucked up.
I did talk to the person about that after that I went to the movie with. I was just kind of like, damn, how they did do the compare and contrast in regards to the contrasting of the white girl and the big black girl. I did say that.
That white girl didn't need to be white. It could have been another black girl that went out there and did the same.
You see how dumb he is? It's just dumb as hell. Right?
He's a special kind of dumb. Like, first of all, but his ability to make it so personal with him is really blocking him from enjoying the greatness of the movie, of how much caping he's trying to do, or shield insecurities or anything with that. He doesn't even realize his language association with the big fat black girl and the pretty white woman, fat black girl. And he doesn't even realize he's doing that much.
Exactly. Sounding like a goddamn fool. And it kills me because he's talking to a white boy, and the white boy is trying to make sense of it in his own way. He don't even really know, but he knows more than what he's talking about. He he caught things that he didn't catch.
Right. His friend on the phone right now is just discovering how stupid Stevie is. He's like, my friend is stupid. The way he's talking about this, it's ridiculous. And it's like it's so unfortunate. You could just see his self-hate come through in this review because there's nothing positive about it. He's trying to make up things that might be offensive, but it's only offensive to him on here. He doesn't understand what role the characters are playing. Like, why not just make her a black? It wouldn't have worked, dummy. The history she has there and in Arizona as well, to be able to go back and forth and not necessarily fit in one.
Right.
Has a very specific role in who she is.
Well, he's not realizing that she jumped the color fence, married a white man. And on top of that, her mother raised both of them.
Right.
So it's like he's not making he has no historical context at all. This is like somebody who doesn't know anything. It's like watching a black guy that doesn't know anything about history, doesn't understand.
Or a kid or a child and saying, hey, watch this. Like, where's all the vampire shit? After they finish watching it.
But this goes into what you were talking about earlier when you were saying they just don't, it's like a group that just don't know anything about our history. So let me continue.
Shit, they made her white. What's the point of making her white? If the message is to demonize white people, what's the point of making her white?
Probably inclusion, but hey, man, watch how you say that white girl, because that white girl, she kind of bad.
She did her thing too. She did her fucking thing. She could act her ass off.
What do you think about her personality in that movie, though?
Yeah, she pulled that old southern dialect ass off. She sound like a goddamn sister.
Yeah, she was like, stuck your tongue in my coochie. Yeah. She was like, oh, and then when she was a vampire, she was like, oh, well, you can steal from them, but you can't steal this pussy.
Yeah, bro.
What's really funny is they probably don't know her race in real life either. Oh, I'm just saying, like they think that she's a white girl playing a white girl. She's actually Okay.
Unreal. Well, they're so smitten with her. Particularly Stevie, so smitten with her and all her what. And it's okay to feel these things like she's attractive, but you could just tell how he prioritizes her above everything else simply because she's a white lady in this part, or his perception of a white lady in this part.
Exactly.
I said, damn, bro,
Jesus.
she with the shit. I said, goddamn.
Yeah. Like I said, the acting was fire, but I don't like. I'm not the message and the plot was
Do
whack.
you think that was his best role? Do you think that was his best role?
Michael B.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because he pulled off two characters at once and shit, and he did his thing.
You liked how he played both the brothers?
Yeah.
It was kind of believable that it was two of them. You feel me?
Nah, he did his thing. He definitely did his thing.
And I was more so talking about the ambiance of it, the whole, like you said, the production standpoint.
Yeah.
I like how the standpoint. I like how that the famous brother, the one that kind of reminded me of Samuel Jackson, him. I don't know his name, but like
the drunk.
Yeah. I like him in movies. I like the young man that played the guitar. You feel me? Like I don't know. I like the music aspect.
Yeah, you like the ambiance. You liked everything outside of the actual movie. Like that plot was whack, bro.
The ambiance.
Yeah, I was caught up in the ambiance of it all, and the whole like the acting that I didn't even, until you mentioned it now, I didn't think nothing of the plot. I swear to God.
Yeah, but that's the whole point of movies to me is the fucking plot, the story, and the story was whack. Like I compare it to Get Out, bro. It's the same shit, but Get Out as a movie was fire. Like Get Out had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. They tried to do a Get Out and failed miserably.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
they still had that agenda. It was still divisive. It was still like white versus black. You know what I'm saying? Turning blacks into slaves.
Like
huh?
It was called the other movie that killed it or whatever his name is.
Whoa,
called Us?
Did you hear
Us?
that?
What
Yeah, like Duality. I saw that. That shit. I ain't like that one that much.
Say that again.
Well, he just mentioned turning white and black into slaves. He's getting slavery from this. This guy is just dumb on so many levels, man. What is his issue? Yeah, it looks that way, Keeper. Where he was a little doing some questions, it looked like he gave up. Like, nah, you really are this dumb. Let's just, did you like the colors? Did you like the colors of the film?
But he was trying to do too much. But Get Out.
Why did your wife dislike the movie?
Huh?
Why did your wife dislike the movie?
For the same reasons I did, bro. Like I think we got the same mind, bro. Like we were looking at each other the whole time in the theater, like just rolling our eyes, bro. I was like, cause we didn't get it, bro. It was like, why is everybody fucking with this shit so much? And it's because of what you're saying, like the production, the ambiance, the music is fire, right? They were able to depict that time back in the day real well, man. The staging, the location, all that. But I don't watch movies for all that. Like I appreciate it, but I'm there for like the writing. Like, what's up, man? Let me see what y'all doing. And it's just a political propaganda piece to me to empower. It's like black victimhood. You know what I'm saying? We can't have shit. We got these vampire bloodsuckers taking over our shit, which was it's actually a cool idea to do, but they could have did it much better. They could have made that shit fire, made it more believable. Had a dope ass plot.
Yeah. What did you think of the second ending?
When they pulled up to the bar?
Yeah.
It was cool. Yeah.
What would you take from that? Was that like? What did you do? Was there anything in that made you think like it was?
No, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a creative ending for it, and you know what I mean. They say that they really fuck with each other and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? My brother told me to let you live. I let you live, and I thought it was cool. It was cute.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, in my head I was like, okay, cool. Like he kept his word with his brother.
Yeah.
But then I also thought, and I also kind of low key thought for a second, the person I went with, I was like, yo, like when you did say, because I watched like the Twilight, I watched like the Vampire Diary shit and all that stuff, and it's just I've seen a lot of vampire stuff, and when they're newborns, they're the strongest. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, that's one thing that I did. I was kind of like, normally the people who even turn them over tend to be weaker than the new ones, because the new ones are the strongest because they're the hungriest. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't have enough control and shit. So. Yeah, I could see that.
And vampires heal, bro. And when that part when he shot Buddy in the face and Buddy's face didn't heal, I'm like, bro, you're a vampire. You're not a fucking zombie. Like vampires' faces heal. Tedious, but like I like vampires. You're gonna do vampires, you gotta do it right.
You're gonna use that type of thing, then at least be true to the.
Yeah, like stay keep it consistent.
Yeah, because every other thing that does vampires kind of does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying from that standpoint. Damn, I'm definitely gonna have to. I ain't recommending your ass nothing.
He said, I'm not recommending your ass nothing. Did you hear him?
Right, yeah.
You know,
What?
the white guy is like trying to, you ever had a white guy that try to be your friend, but he's trying to really appease you, but he really thinks you're dumb and shit. Like this black guy, did I pick the right black friend? Like I want a black
Yo,
guy that's more
he
down.
did pick the right friend because he's not going to disagree with anything that he goddamn thinks.
No, I'm saying the white guy probably saying, "Did I pick the right black
Oh,
friend? I need a friend that's more like black. This guy he's corny."
yeah. Yeah, he can't pick his brains. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps I don't. Obviously, we don't know the relationship between the two, but perhaps this white guy is like a little more on the intellectual side because he might sound like he's raising some questions. His whole terms of talking about the film and really articulating it and knowing that there was deeper meanings by even trying to be like, well, what about the music? Like, didn't you get anything? And again, like I predicted, he didn't mention anything about the crossroads. Otherwise, he would have known that it was in the Delta, Clarksdale of all that, Mississippi. The role, even some of the roles of people like Delroy Lindo, you know, of that, and expand a little bit more on Sammy. They're like, what if he's like, what about uh, um, when they have their reunion, at Perline's? Yeah, it was all right. He told him to live. It was cute. That's all you got from that? And I mean, there's so you could go into a lot of what do they call it, allegories or parallels into what side of the story they're trying to tell, or precisely the moment or the era that hip hop's vampire started to, take place, started to sink its teeth into that part of the industry too. Is maybe why they're showing up on other business and go check up on this guy, as to why to have it in 92. Because part of me was when 92 came up, I was like, oh, not current day. They went to 92. So even anything that he could have said to stand out, he seems to want to act like he has some sort of artistic integrity because he's like, oh, it was beautifully shot and all, without really saying, well, what made it beautiful? What did you like about it? That at least you could go on and have a discussion about that if you have no idea and you're saying how shitty the plot is.
Right.
Fine, where's your explanation for this?
He was more focused on basically what his expectation was than the movie itself. The movie was basically character driven, historically grounded, symbolic, and a slow burn. That's what it was.
He
He
wanted
mis- he
Marvel.
right, he misinterpreted like when Sammy was performing and then the vampires arrived. So he didn't make a connection to the music and how the vampires arrived.
None
Like
of that.
right. It was like spiritual powerful, like when the beginning when his father made him like choose, and told him it was the devil's music, so
Right.
he didn't see the direct metaphor between a white appropriation of black art at all. He
Or anything.
misinterpreted that.
He was
um
just like, it's a big metaphor to say the whites are taken from the blacks. But this
Right,
movie
he
was
didn't
about.
he didn't see understand the Stack turning into a vampire. He didn't understand that. And why would his brother want to kill him when his brother probably wanted to turn him? There's a difference. So,
Right.
like he's not even thinking about that, right? Um he missed the symbol, them symbolizing how some people get seduced by power and lose themselves.
Right.
Um, he didn't recognize the final scene that was in 1992, showing how trauma follows artists and how culture survives exploitation. Like he missed
No.
all of that.
Everything. Everything. And even as you say that, I think about, what he was talking about the juke and why the gunfight was at the end. He saved his brother in there from daylight. He shutted up that place knowing the guys were going to come back to try to extort them. He wasn't fooled at all because remember, he already flipped the guy that was the nephew of the KKK dude that already shared with them this is what they're planning to do anyway. So he
Hmm.
knew that he was coming back with a gang of white dudes and was going to protect the juke, but also protect his brother that he just made a pact with to not to protect Sammy. right? But he didn't go into characters, what they stood for, any of the symbolisms in there as well, how it was shot. I think it was a really good movie all the way. A lot of what I may have expected, but a lot of things that I didn't expect for how they were going to tie a lot of the things together. I saw a lot of maybe reviews and trailers beforehand, enough where I was like, I might enjoy this. One of my main concerns was how Michael B. Jordan was going to play his twin, because generally people that do that, it's kind of corny, and I'm never really sold on the playing other people stuff there unless it's the clumps or some shit like that. But what's up, Dr. Nikki? Um, so it took me a second to get over that, because I think that was the scene between the cigarette passing back and forth where they basically established, yeah, it's this good. So don't even, what do they call that? Deference of whatever the hell it is,
Yeah.
of disbelief, suspension of disbelief. Um, so they ended up, so he didn't even talk about stuff like that. That was updated techniques and done very well, even to the kicking of Remick doing the little Irish dance and stuff like that too, just to put those things in. And sometimes when you're being a little more sophisticated with movie making and stuff, you imply to make your mind come up with the picture or the message, versus the effect of it just being downright gory for it to be downright gory. Gory. I mean, it had its gory, raunchy scenes in there and everything as well. But to say um, some of the jump scares and the techniques, like to not even mention the way things were, he sounds like a big brat. No, I didn't like it. Not enough kid shit was in it, or not enough explaining for him. Like, if you know your history, that's where you're picking away all these, what do they call it? Easter eggs and stuff too, of that they personally put in there. So he didn't know enough to put any history or any detail to any of the scenes, and that's why it was boring to his knucklehead.
Right,
Yeah,
because he critiqued just the pace of the movie. He ignored all the character
right,
archetype. He complained about the horror, but missed the algorithm. I can't say the word, but he blamed Cooler for ambition instead of appreciating the layers. Um,
right,
yeah.
right,
Um,
right, right.
and all the metaphors that was in the movie, he acted like they were holes in the plot, which is kind of funny to me. Um,
Yeah,
right, and he really didn't understand how blues has a spiritual force in Black history. Like my auntie is from Mississippi, and and I'm not gonna tell you what her record. Well, I'll tell you what her record is, but she wrote blues. She sung the blues. She has a CD and everything, and she's from Mississippi.
oh, oh,
So,
okay.
yeah. So he just never thought past the surface. And so just to break down what Sinners really was about, it was about black archery. I'm sorry. I am so
Artistry.
sleepy. Artistry, legacy, exploitation, community, trauma, and spirituality. Right? That's what it was about. It wasn't about
Yeah,
vampires running around. So,
or about the white devil. That's where you're so consumed by hate and superiority and stuff, that's all you saw in this movie.
yes.
You didn't get to really appreciate it on its other messages, on a lot of the connections and everything as well.
Hmm.
You to, oh, this is what and it's such a small pea brain thing to do, that you wasted your own time checking this out. And the same criticisms that he would have for this movie, he wouldn't have for other movies and other directors. These two. So let me go back and say a couple of things with this. Yeah, I waited a while. I didn't think it was the reason why I waited, not because I thought it was going to be a terrible movie or anything like that. I thought I would be satisfied. I appreciated, their efforts as a team before in the things that they produced. So I knew. when I saw it, I wasn't too thrilled about Michael B. Jordan. Boy, I'm always like, fucking hire another guy, man. But it's for other reasons than just having Michael B. Jordan play the two characters and everything. So there were a few things, like I said, suspension of disbelief that I had to get over just to be able to watch the film, which I already had good faith in. And seeing some of the blue stuff, it kind of intrigued me as well. And it also intrigued me of, well, how did they take all that and make it a vampire flick at the end of the same thing? So it was just a matter of time before I watched it, and basically glad that I did hang on and watch it. And I tried watch. I know I said that I fell asleep, but it was late, you know, after this podcast, and sometime midway or halfway through, that's what I meant. Halfway through the partners on a Saturday night and stuff, I'm nodding a little bit because I'm getting fucking old. I don't know, not that old, Face. Face, you're a bastard. While you're in here, well, we're not that far in age, my friend. We're not that far in age. I'm just letting you know. All right, for next time you pop that shit up. Um, I so I had to watch it a couple times, which I didn't mind doing. I knew right away it's not the kind of movie that I could have in the background and sort of pay attention to it. So, I had to dedicate that time to sit in front and really get everything. That's what it did for me versus, oh, this is boring shit. I could do some other shit and came back. I knew that I was like, man, I'm going to have to sit down and really pick up the details and stuff. I wasn't quite sold on Sammy right away because I kept trying to pick out the Robert Johnson, knowing I should have respected that it was loosely based on the lore, but not necessarily Robert Johnson, a Robert Johnson like character, whatever that myth is.
Mhm.
But because I recently did the video of Robert Johnson, I was looking for some reason, a lot stronger connection and everything with that. And so that was the only thing. I liked everything. I'm a big dude with cinematography and all that of how it's shot. Of course, you get a little older, and him talking about that shit, and Quentin Tarantino being one of the biggest ones, and Robert Rodriguez and stuff. He did say, like I said before, he got some of the inspiration from that. So if you like that sort of stuff, it was in there for you. You told us that he kind of liked that, but you didn't say why you appreciated that, or some of the scenes that were breathtaking, or kind of like put you in the mix of everything too. You know.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just not focusing on a certain part right now. I'm just giving my overall of it. I think overall as a production, it was tight. The acting was tight. I really believe the actors in this. I'm very critical because I just don't buy anything. I like to see the way that they act. I like Remick was a very good character. The way he came across, very sheepishly, just how manipulative he was, and then when he was sure of himself and he had the confidence, and his comrades around him, and he's singing and all that stuff, he's a lot more confident and quote unquote devilish, with it too. I thought everybody just had a great part. They were believable. uh like this dude said, there was the pretty white girl, but everybody fit their part. The beautiful black women in there, Annie, and the singing chick as well. She did her little waiting to exhale walk across the street on the platform to the train. I hope he's not looking at me. Ah, he's looking at me. She did
Yeah,
one of those.
yeah, yes, she did. She did. I see that. Yes.
The role of Delroy Lindo as well being in there, and his sacrifice. So
Yeah.
everything felt natural, and the casting and the story was very good in there too.
I was a little surprised by this movie a lot. Like, at first, I was kind of seeing the reviews, and I wasn't seeing people describe, like, some of the reviews kind of came off like Stevie's review. Like, it was as if they were expecting it to be a vampire movie. So I was like, I don't
Mm,
want to see a vampire movie. Like, I
mhm,
don't
mhm.
want to see because I'm not into paranormal movies. So I said, you know what? Let me just go into and watch this movie because I need to know what people are talking about. Like, why are they why is everyone focused on this one thing? And so when I ask people, they say, "Oh no, it's not a vampire movie." But then when I would see the reviews, they were focused on that. One of the parts of the movie that stood out to me, that really really stood out to me, was the Asian lady, right?
Mm.
When she worked at the store on the white side of the street, and
Mhm.
then she worked on the black side. Like the Asian people, because that's one thing that nobody really talks about, the with the role that the Asian people played in that during that time. But as you
Right.
can see, there was the black side and then there was the white side, and
Right.
she would cross both sides.
Right. Right.
And so that stood out to me a lot. Like that kind
That
of,
was neat. That showed a lot with the couple. I mean, all the way to present, your Koreans or Asians at the corner store still holding down that part of business. And her walk through there, I think they said that they concentrated was damn near like, I might be misquoting, between a 1 or even close to a 3-minute walk or something like that, depicting her walking from the one side to the other. But even how they have that, the daughter watching the store over there, the one that it took the father, she made that trip so the father would stay planted in one place versus that making that transaction also. So again, this is more um things in context, historical context of things that happened that this guy he's not even mentioning. If you're going to mention a couple, it just shows how unworthy he is of being able to do stuff like this objectively, because this whole thing was just about the pretty white girl and the fat black chick, the fat black woman, without mentioning anything. His disdain. I wonder, like, you don't see that about yourself. How do you run this back? And me, I'm speaking for Stevie Knight. And you're not embarrassed. What do you tell yourself in the mirror that this is the way you're going out? And this goes to all those so-called black conservatives that you act like this. How are you at peace with yourself
well,
to be able to do that?
that's the thing. That's the number one question. You know, um,
It is.
the thing about it is that what makes him get up in the morning? Like I don't even think they even re-watch what they say, because I remember when he was going back and forth with Abba,
Mhm.
and Abba was basically breaking, he was asking them questions, and he was like, he didn't know how to answer the question. He was just making random statements, and then he had to respond to it, and he still sounded ignorant.
Yeah. Yeah. And he looked like a kid in the principal's office after a while. When he was getting beat down,
Yeah.
and Abbott just persists, I don't know, I don't need to Google. It just sounded like a pure kid that was beaten, but can't put aside your ego, you know, uh, uh, to say anything relevant here. So just to slingshot this a little bit. So this review comes out. And correct me if I'm wrong, Abba and Preach, on these YouTube streets checking this shit out. And so it was so what started with this? What happened first? The Kirk offing or this
Yeah,
review?
the Kirk often happened first.
And then he did this review, and then they went back and forth with each other again,
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
yeah,
Okay, so it was really that when they went to discuss, and they went back and forth, and one of the main points of contention was if kids should be fed, and Stevie was like, "There's no starving kids in America." Like this guy just should not have a microphone, and it's scary. Side note here, while we're talking about sinners, where Roland Martin kind of called out Charlemagne, kind of the same way, like you shouldn't be
yep,
speaking on stuff like that, talking about the government shutdowns and what people need to do, kind of like, and then I'll extend that over to Stephen A. Jackson running his mouth about what Kanji, I always mess up her name, Brown, says about Trump versus you're supposed to be working in the office and stuff like that. Somebody in their video played that old time video of Malcolm X explaining the role of the field Negro and the porch Negro
exactly.
as well. So
Yeah,
there's
it's
definitely a
always
lot
gonna
of
be.
this, as we see there, Stevie Knight. They take care of him in the house, his little gold chain and haircut and all that kind of stuff, eating their food. And like Malcolm X said, he's even more willing. He cares about the master more than the master cares about himself. If he's sick, we sick.
Exactly.
Massive. You
exactly. But
know,
the thing about it is,
uh,
I knew you would like the movie. Number one.
play again, play again.
I knew you would like the movie. Number one.
Oh,
I knew you
okay,
I knew you would love the movie. But
all right,
I also knew that this just goes, showing this Stevie J goes with what you were talking about earlier today, and what we were talking about, how you have these clowns sitting around making anti-black comments,
right,
and don't really know what they're talking about, and they're ignorant. They don't have good communication skills whatsoever. Like, to you, he might have, to you or to the average person, he has a pretty smile. He's not a bad
right,
looking brother, but he's dumb as
right,
shit.
right. He's dumb and he's convinced about the bullshit that he's talking about.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, he's shown, even with this phone call with his friend over there and his debate with ABBA, that he's not even open to other talking points when they're relevant and when they're logical because his bruised ego. So he lets that prevent, he could have walked away from that debate with ABBA more knowledgeable. Like, man, there are, what do they do with start? You're going to deny food insecurity and starving kids in America?
Hmm.
You're not gonna find out more about that. By the way, there's this thing going around where this lady called different churches and places of worship because she needed some formula. Information man showed it on this thing, and most of these churches, except they said one mosque, one Muslim place offered help to buy some formula and shit in there. What do
Really?
you got in the background over there? Do I got to play this thing? Do I go over this?
Yeah. I want you to play this because this is like this is one actor, I mean one director to another. Okay. Wait, let me.
Years. Sinners. My brother Ryan, he did the damn thing. Let me tell a quick story. He called me up and he said, Spike, do you happen to be in LA? I said, yeah, why? Well, we're going through the final thing of IMAX, and if you can get here in an hour, you can see it. I'm rarely in LA.
Yeah.
So it was a mistake. I was there, and he took a chance calling me. So I'm there. I'm on the right. Ryan's in the center, and his wonderful wife, Cindy, is there. And I know they're not going to want to sit next to me in the movie again because I was acting like I was my courtside seat at the Garden. We were killing the Celtics. I was jumping up and down. I was like, my mind was blown, especially as to see that musical sequence.
With the genres and the eras.
Yeah. I mean, I was just happy to be there. And that he called me out of nowhere and then just took a chance. Maybe there's a chance Spike is in LA. That film was transforming. And that film took me to another place. And I love movies.
Yeah.
And when I see something that's great, it just puts me, it lifts my spirit. And Spinach for me was that film this year.
What was your favorite movie you saw this year?
That I just wanted to put that up there because
That's very good.
Yeah, I
You know,
love
to be
Spike.
able to have that support and letting him go see it too. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
but just to see him cheer, that guy on, Ryan, and cheer him on, and actually let him know like this is an excellent film. Like he, it's like, to me, it's like passing the torch because you got this actor, actor slash director,
Right.
who's made some, transformative movies himself, to just, see this young guy, doing it big, and really, really give him his flowers for it. And so that's why I put that
Right.
out.
And he used a lot of industry insiders as well for different projects for certain people for special effects,
Yeah,
dialect guys. The guy that played Remick, he really does speak. He doesn't speak that English stuff, man. He speaks like Irish
yeah,
accent type stuff, real thick. So the amount of detail that he went to have things accurate, and even those small royal roles of having Indians or having the Chinese in there and everything as well. Having everybody play their part in it perfectly. I don't think there was anything too overwhelming or any character too overwhelming that didn't add, to this film as well. I think as far as the dancing scene goes, a couple things in there. It was really good. Of course, I'm listening to the music and I'm always thinking about how it's mixed and how I would kind of mix it. I sort of got it. It reminded me of the scene of if you saw the Wu-Tang Saga, the way that RZA describes how sampling is.
Uh-huh.
It was kind of like that as well. And I felt like Spike Lee could have benefited from a scene like that when he did the party at in the movie where Denzel Washington's son was in there. They did a party scene in there. Spike Lee could have done something, but Spike Lee, he had that Coogler and Jordan have that relationship like Spike and Denzel and anything like that. So it's good to see that group and his production people come across this powerful thing that he has going on right now, man. Is really cool. So yeah, all of that. It's good to see that we're in a place where they're not showing us this competitive nature and Spike shutting out, because he's been known to be a little bit of a tough
Exactly.
ass in the business, especially towards others. So it's good to see the guidance and the handing down of information and approval from one generation to another. And that's just how you make it that good and that amount of quality. It opened up. I remember some of the newspapers or whatever were trying to give it bad reviews and trying to say shit like that too. Tom Cruise stepped up and said something. If it was Tom Cruise, no, it could have been Ben Stiller. If I'm getting both of them confused,
I'm
but
like,
it's yeah, and you know what I'm thinking? They did something on MTV some years ago, so I've confused the two ever since for the Mission Impossible thing.
mhm.
Um, but they tried to call the movie a failure when it came out, and I think it was Ben Stiller that wrote back like, "In what case is this a failure when the movie makes back its budget like in the first day or two on opening weekend?" Already pointing out the hypocrisy towards the directors and it's different. Not allowing its flame to be extinguished before it even gets a chance to shine. Jesus, say that 10 times fast. So yeah, there's two, and I do think Tom Cruise actually did say something after seeing the movie too, how much he liked it and appreciated the artistry of it and supporting it. So I think this guy's mad that it wasn't another Wesley Snipes Blade movie.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think he's mad because he even said vampire in Brooklyn. That had nothing to, that's nowhere near what this
This
was.
is where you're getting right. This is where you're getting your vampire lore and rules from. Oh, is it? Like, you idiots! What an embarrassment.
I
Stevie
think
Knight just
I think that he did it to, he likes to be that token black. I think he did that to appease his woman, his white woman and family. And he's getting ate up like literally. The more he talks, they said the more his viewership drops. So I can't see how people didn't pick up on it sooner, but I guess it took somebody
right.
like Abba to to
Abba the finisher. He's finished a couple people like that. And
oh
on
man.
that note, it's like a lot of these red pill / conservative mega idiots, particularly black people that support this. A lot of them are displaced people now, because they're overtly being told that they're not wanted anywhere around, the conservatives, or they're not valued around the mega movement, and they're not considered. They keep telling them that, but these
Yep.
black dudes aren't trying to hear it, no matter how disgraced they are in public.
Well, I think they're outsiders. Like, they blame black people for them growing up in neighborhoods where they were the only black people in those neighborhoods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you're mad because your Hodge twins are mad because they grew up around majority of white people, and then the few black people they came across couldn't understand why they were socially awkward, and now it is every black
Yes.
person called Tory.
Yes.
So you get a lot of them.
You didn't fit in. You know, you didn't fit in anywhere, but it was easier to blame and try to understand what you are versus, you know, this hating group that you got part of too, man.
Trying
And
to
it's
make
just
the whole Candace Owens, all of them, making money off of people who hate them. That's crazy. I you know, but
yeah.
you know, I always say all money isn't good money. So,
Mhm.
but to them, I guess it mean, you know, it means a lot, you know, especially if you know if you're trying to be an entrepreneur.
A content creator.
If you spend your whole first 10 years of your adult life trying to be an entrepreneur, and now you're saying you're a content creator, these are the people that are on YouTube now.
Indeed, man.
It's not going to last long because they're running out of content. So
Yeah. It's not a career move for the especially if it's not built on anything. Like, look at what Information Man, his stuff is consistent on different things that he tries to bring up, you know, a certain awareness, a certain information show that he provides. It's not about kicking slinging mud back and forth and being caught up in this sort of thing, you know. So therefore his stuff will never run out because he's reporting on the news and events particular to the community out there. These guys are built on trying to piss people off and having these platforms. Two guys want to try to have an intellectual conversation with a panel of strippers and this stuff. You know, this information gets old. They don't even know what to do with themselves after things just stop catching. So, yeah, that bubble, it's definitely. Plus, it's a little more difficult for them to get like monetized and making the amount of money that they used to give away back in the day too. I believe that hack. You know, it's definitely more difficult to get the membership and everything happening too. So that hack is kind of closed up, you know, from what it was back in the day, or
like I
kind
like
of back in the day.
Information Man puts like black, like you know, if you want to learn about Black history or um about just the you know anything that's related to the past, he always posts you know people who've passed, people who've long gone, people that's still here. He celebrates history.
Right.
History.
Right.
So I think that's you know really what I like about what he does, especially on his posts and his wall and stuff like that. He celebrates us, and you really don't see that too much.
Right.
So
Right. Definitely good stuff. Thing else about Sinners? I mean, there's a whole bunch could discuss, but overall, you know, same thoughts and all that too. I'm glad we watched Idiot Stevie Knight because this is what a lot of people would see, and it really what it is an adverse effect to the success. If the film flopped or anything, he'd be right there, not trying to say anything good about it. He feels
yeah,
like because it reached a certain level of success, he has to act like he's in line with praising something about it, but
exactly.
hating that it could be a message at the same time. What a phony.
It's
Oh, that's
jealous.
phony.
It's jealousy. It's like you know, I've never seen, you know, I want to see Stevie Knight write a movie. I want to, you know, what
He
gives
can't
him,
even write a paragraph, I'm sure.
yeah, he like, I want him to read out loud. Like, I really want him to, like,
Yeah, he tried. He's one of these guys that tried to read. Now I know I can't because my screen is like farther away, so I gotta lean in to read. Plus, I'm supposed to be reading glasses, so it sucks. But his like, this guy's get the and even you know when people kind of read like that, then they gotta piece the words together in his head. You know, all I really know about this guy is he used to be like a boxer, maybe. So maybe he got one or two in the head. It's not like those guys got to be physicists or anything to be boxing. Not calling them all dumb or athletes, but in this case, he sunk, you know, everything into this athlete life and nothing, no books or anything to nourish his mental state. And it shows he's just not a smart guy. He doesn't sound smart, in any sort of way. Also, man.
Listen, I just want to know who is his parents? Who is your people? They need to get there. Do they know you're on here?
Yeah, I wonder, right? If for him, does his wife watch? Do they have notes afterwards?
And then
Anything like that?
I find him sipping on that little drink that he was drinking. Is that Gatorade? What is that? Like, what are you sipping on, sir?
I know, those idiot power drinks that go to the gym. That's his whole identity. He's got to be buff. He's got to be cut and this. But I like that it shows like that. That'll get you so far.
Yeah.
It might have got you to the table, but now it shows that you can't handle being at the table to have adult conversations.
Well, I will continue on watching him get eat up by the group of those who speak on people from, what is he from, the Manosphere, or what is he, the Red Pill guys? Yeah, he's part of the Red.
He's all that shit. Yeah, Red Pill MAGA guys.
Yeah, that's even worse. Red Pill MAGA.
He is. That's what he is. Man, it's reflective of what that whole demographic is all about, really. Is that don't really know what they're talking about, not willing to do the research unless it's just one of the talking points that they could just continue regurgitating all the time. And this is what they get, His parents are probably, yeah. You can't picture having like solid black parents looking at your kid just being a complete idiot sellout. But I mean, again, it's this other thing where you don't know what the fuck your kids are doing sometimes online, doing, or how far left or right they're going on anything, like, you believe this shit. So maybe it's some things that he shares. There's maybe a time where he didn't have to rely on saying anything too smart. And now this is where these guys are struggling to have anything relevant to say, and realizing that it was based on nothing unless they got what ABBA calls his white zaddy, the song in there. Unless you have them preaching on what to say, then you that was another little funny video, by the way, when Stevie was so upset that there were these memes of the Kirkifications, how upset he was that people would do this sort of thing online. When people were promptly like, do you not remember the Trayvon Skittles and all the shit that they were doing, and the George Floyd challenge that they were posting? What were your thoughts about that when that was coming out? You're so offended now about these Kirkifications?
Mm-hmm. Well, he needs to worry about that Nick Fuentes or whatever that guy's name is, because he don't like none of them. He said he hates
Nick Fuentes. He flipped on everybody now, man.
He said,
and I mean, good. Call them out. Let them know that they have no place to stand.
Yep. And I know I noticed even that Officer Taylor, he's trying to justify why they're coming for him too. I can't stand him.
He's trying to make it a religious thing, that he's such a great Christian is the reason why. Like, just people are blind. Like, you don't even have to be pro-black, but don't be just pro-idiot.
Yeah. Well,
like, holy shit.
I'm starting to believe that being an idiot, you can make money. I don't know how much money they're making, but I'm not willing to risk it.
Yeah. There's that too. And then you have the comfort of ignorance is bliss. You don't know you're being that idiot. You're so convinced in it also. So you might not even be necessarily fooling yourself. You're just making money because nobody stopped you in school enough to say, no, idiot, go this way. Nobody's going to accept this in the real world, or maybe even for long. I guess you could say that. Holy shit. Listen to you sounding all tired.
I told you. I said I know. I know my body. So I'm sleepy.
A little sleepy too.
Look, I'll be up at 3 a.m. for
Why the
sure.
hell are you up at 3 a.m.? For what?
I I don't know. I don't know.
See, that's your fault, man. For
I got
waking up when there's no reason to be waking up.
I got old people problems.
And catch the early bird at Denny's.
No, I go back to sleep eventually, but I just it just happens.
You know what? Saying that because my grocery store, I've been wanting to make myself a shitload of pancakes lately. But every time there's like not something in my store, so I don't even have all the stuff that I would. I think I have to maybe if I wake up at a half decent hour tomorrow, I might IHOP it or Denny's it or somewhere I could get pancakes, get the hot cakes happening,
You
a
always
lot
eat.
of syrup.
You always eat out.
I do, I
Yeah,
do. It's terrible.
yeah.
Um, I think I deserve this one. I just want it. I just want some damn pancakes and syrup. Lots of it. Nothing fancy. Don't put anything in my pancakes. No chocolate chips. No blueberries and shit.
Do you guys have first watch out there?
Have what?
First watch.
First watch? No.
Just IHOP.
IHOP, Denny's, the other diners.
They got
Would
a,
drive a little out to go to Waffle House. You know,
a
that
lot.
sort of shit.
They got a lot of mom and pop breakfast places here.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I imagine where you are, they gotta have it. Some highway shit. You get stuck in Texas, big ass Texas.
No, they have like really nice mom and pop places, like really decent. I think that's what I like about Texas. A lot of good mom and pop restaurants. Yeah, they're really, really good food.
I bet.
The chains don't, I haven't eaten breakfast at a chain in a very long time.
Make sure you get some maple syrup. Yeah, I get the. I guess what used to be the Aunt Jemima's, the Old Mill one, or whatever one the diner has in there. Syrup that's been in there for like 20 years or whatever. I don't know what makes syrup go bad. Yeah.
Canada has some real good maple syrup.
Where?
I got some maple syrup from Canada. It was given
Maple syrup?
Yeah, from people that lived in Canada. Brought me some maple syrup from Canada.
Oh, there you go. You still have it?
Yeah.
Is it different than the other syrups?
Yes, it's real good.
All right. Well, there you go.
Yeah,
might have to seek a little of that out too.
Canada is known for maple syrup.
Yeah, of course. There was a heist. It was on Netflix. The maple syrup heist.
Really?
Yeah, it's some crazy fucking story. It's like a crazy story. Millions of maple syrup heists up there, an inside job. It's like they did the Louvre Museum over there. That was Canada's that happening over there. So yeah, I'm not sure if I would know the difference of
You would know. You can taste
is all
it.
syrup? Is that what syrup is, right? Is it all syrup from a tree, maple tree?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah, because
Wasn't there something, Lorna, that you say that you get the maple syrup? Isn't there something else that Donald Trump just reversed? Something about real sugar being in the drinks, right? Bringing back real cane sugar.
I like stuff with real cane sugar. High fructose corn syrup is in some syrups. That's why you have to look and check
Oh,
syrup you buy.
right.
So I always look. I always get the one that doesn't have high fructose corn syrup in it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever Old Mill is, which I think is the name. They changed it a couple times, but now I think it's back to Old Mill, which is previously the old Aunt Jemima. I don't know how they got away with that for like 5 fucking decades.
And some-
And then decide to switch it over. It's like, fuck, change is slow. God damn, you got an old black woman in the
they're trying to
shape of a syrup bottle and an
they're trying
old
to
black
change
man on some rice.
they're trying to change what is it, Cracker Barrel?
Procter and Gamble.
No, Cracker Barrel.
Oh, Cracker Barrel. They're going to change it back.
Yeah, no, they're going to get rid of the barrel and because it's racist.
No, they did. They did that already. And they hired a team. So you got to look at the old one versus the new one. The new one looks like it was done in 2 minutes, not a research team. Because basically they just took away the barrel, same shitty yellow background with the lettering in there. So they really didn't do anything with this big reveal that they were doing, you know. So yeah, that was the other. What was the offensive thing? The man with the whip on the barrel and their
Yeah,
poor treatment to black customers across
yeah.
the nation.
I don't like Cracker Barrel's pancakes because it tastes like they cook their pancakes in oil. Like instead of
Probably.
yeah, it's like an oil. Their pancakes taste like they're cooking it on the same grill with the sausage, and they just put oil on
Well, a lot of these places, man, it's lard, it's the oil, it's on like Southern tradition shit. So yeah, there's just gonna be a bunch of that unhealthy fucking, and none of it's made for health. We should know. None of it's made to be healthy, and that's all that old school shit where they didn't, you know, you need to be strong, man, for the field. So cooking it up like that is the way you cook it up like that, you know. So I don't know.
Well, I hope you have your pancakes. Take a picture.
I might, maybe. You know, I don't be posting stuff like that. I put it on my
Nah,
mixtape.
send it. You just send it. like I have pancakes. Look.
Maybe we'll see. I don't want to be one of those idiots. I feel like an idiot with the live on in the gym because I normally don't do that. So I know you couldn't even hear the video that well, but and I know you didn't watch the whole video because if you watched the whole video, you would see me pull the phone to the thing to see my speed and distance
I seen
periodically.
and then I seen it was too close, and I just heard a lot of heavy breathing. That's what I heard.
That was me thinking I was gonna die. I'm glad man, I ran. So since I was feeling so shitty, I didn't really run for the last few days. So I had to make it all up today, as I was saying before. And man, my body just rejected the run. Like my head was splitting. You know, I was even getting came home, had a smoothie. That was coming up a little bit. I was like, oh shit, you know.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm glad I ran, but it was one of those things where you bring yourself to, you know, you finally do it and you feel better 99% of the time. Like, I'm glad I did this. This is what the 1% where I don't know, maybe I didn't have enough food in my stomach or something like that, where everything was just like, holy shit, dude. I was laying there before I turned this thing on. Like, are you going to do this? You know, and luckily feel a little better. I might go out to get some food right after this too.
Yes.
I don't know what I want.
See, always eating out. One day,
I
look,
ate a lot, man. I made the neat little meals that I like. This I don't even know what to call it, man. Lettuce, chicken, cucumbers, tomatoes, onions. What is it?
so you made a lettuce sandwich.
No, there was chicken in there, and it was very, very Mediterranean, like spices and stuff as well. So it was very good. I had those going till I ran out of shit. You know, so I was mixing it up a little bit, man. Just doing my thing. But today, I'm gonna eat. Tomorrow, probably pancakes in the morning because I deserve it. God damn it. Have that as well. All right, what do you want to do? You want to wrap it up, or you got another subject in you, or what? What do you want?
I don't have nothing else. This is my topic right here. It was heavily entertained, and you watched the movie finally. So that's all that
Yeah,
matters.
yeah. We could visit it a little more in the future too. I'm glad we got a chance to talk about it finally. I'm glad that I did watch it also. I thought I would enjoy it too, and I did enjoy it, and noticed a lot of the details that he put in there, and the great method of storytelling, and just a quality job it was for everything that it was, and a lot of the things that he tried, as for having Michael B. Jordan played a couple characters, the characters that were introduced, their plays in it. Thought it was very, very good, tight work. And yeah, that's a movie we did. I guess this is one of our little movie reviews
Yeah,
that
that's what
we've
we
done.
should do. I'm telling you, you got you if you guys have a movie you want us to watch and review, you know, let us know. Drop
Throw
a
it in the comments anytime, any type of movie. Well, not any type of movie. You could feel free to throw out the suggestion. Movies, videos, any of those reaction shits. Uh, you know, we'll definitely check that out. Documentaries too, man. Things that we've shown on here that you guys have an interest in. Obviously, we got a wide range of things that we like and that we would entertain and like our brains enlightened about also. So yes, yes, yes. I'd like to hear anything else that you have, Josephine, down the line that you would want us to check out now that we have movies and all this other stuff to do too.
Yeah,
What you got?
you'll get an email. Look, you'll get an email but we, I want to get back to watching movies and actually you know, uh talking about them, because that's one thing that I kind of moved away from is not watching as many shows and movies. I think I've been so preoccupied, but
Okay.
now
Okay.
now it's something we can get into, and then I can make a thumbnail, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
This is a thumbnail that we're looking at, right?
Yes, I made
Is
that.
this what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Joe made this as well. Because I want to see what thumbnails you make, what albums you could convert for my outside thumbnails for the
Okay.
thing too.
Well, you gotta
So
send me.
maybe I'll pass some of those on.
Yeah, pass some on. And then we can always talk about music. Before we go, I just wanted to talk about, congratulations to Outkast, Salt and Pepper,
Oh,
for making the what they make the they were inducted in the.
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes. I last week or this past week I was listening to Salt and Pepper, and I had to, you know what, they were very influential in
Yeah.
life as a teenager, a little young person. So I didn't realize how much I was really into them until I started
Had
like seeing
your
their
8-ball jacket and your hair flopped on one side,
now I was a
dyed
little
red with the four
now
parts on the left side.
I was a little younger than them. I was a little younger.
With
I
your Bart
couldn't get away,
Simpson shirt.
I couldn't get away with that. I was right. I was a little bit right after
So you had the baubles instead.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all right. That's all right.
Yeah,
Well,
but I really love Outkast. So like when they first came out, I remember when, like, that was one of the CDs that the first album, because I was down. I love Organized Noise, so when they
yeah.
came out, like these two guys, but just to see them come as far as they have, you know.
Yeah.
But
I like
you
them. I like Andre 3000 as a real artist, Yeah, they're a group and all that, but Andre 3000 had most of the
yeah,
musical talent and everything.
yeah, he was my favorite. What you can kind of tell between Andre 3000 and Big Boy is that Big Boy isn't like mentally as mature as
Right.
Andre.
Growth.
Yeah, you can
He kind
tell.
of stood down there. His music didn't evolve or anything because Andre let out a few, little bars here and there, and a lot of them addressed like where he's at, what his mental mind state. But even when they were together as a group, he would go off and do some more socially conscious stuff while,
I was doing hood stuff.
Big Boy raps his misogynistic lyrics, sort of that. But as like any other group, one kind of shines, one doesn't. But yeah, if for a group, if they get that, they have done some good things and created that sound too. I just, if you look at that, you kind of look at one that was there for the ride and one that was kind of there for the artistry that might deserve it a little bit, but good on them anyway. In Salt and Pepper, I remember back in those days, I had the 12-inch record I brought to school for one of our little dances and stuff to help DJ back in those days, man. And the Push It song, just how big it was, and yeah, they were good memories. Good to see the original Spinderella, in the mix too, being represented in there, right? So, yeah, that's about the deal, man. And everything. And do we have anything to look forward to? You know what? All right. You see your thumbnail over here? Why do I get the square around the last call? Why didn't you just put the symbol in there?
I don't know. It was quick. I was
All right. That's
I was
fine. That's
trying
fine.
to
That's
fix
fine. You don't
it.
gotta explain.
It's a work in progress.
All
It
right.
was
Just as I'm looking at it, I was like, wait a minute, why? I'm the only thing not blended in. I was just slapped in there, like, chow. You got the real.
it was like merged. Like it was kind of like attached in a sense. I would have had to unattach it, and then I didn't know if this was the right one because you have the
Josephine looks like she's in the movie over here. My logo is just like slap.
well, this is your show.
Damn. No care. 0.seconds thrown in there. I'm just joking.
No,
Good.
it's your show. It kind of is like if I show you the original, you'll be like, "Oh, I get it." You would have had to pull me out, yeah. So, and plus, I didn't think if I had the right one, but I think this is the right one. This is yours.
Yeah, it was close enough,
Oh, this is yours.
So I'm just trim it down a little bit, man. The whole picture over here. Damn.
But I was able to put it behind the movie seat. So there you go. So.
It's cool. See it there, I guess, And there you are, right there. Like, what?
I'm just out to the side, like I'm here.
Your smug look over there.
Yes, that's my look. That's
your thing.
That's how I'm feeling. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling. I think I do got a couple of me smiling. So, but still.
That's just what you get.
Yeah.
Talking about Willis.
Exactly.
All right, folks. Here we are, because Josephine is just tired this week.
I'm 43 minutes late.
Gotta wake up to I don't know what the hell she's got to do. Feed something.
Listen, I'm gonna wake up at
bread.
3. I'm gonna wake up at 3, look up and roll over and
chop her own wood. Something like that over there. Good that she's back. Remember, she took a little. I hope everything was good last week.
Yeah, it was good, relaxing, and everything. Went out to eat. Went to Melting Pot. It was nice.
Oh, look at you! All right, doing that. We had trouble here last week. I was talking for about an hour to myself, where people were just kind of hearing the background music like this for a whole hour. And then I had to ask, like, "You guys hearing me?" And type it in there, and then turns out they were not hearing me. The Winter Olympics next year. Okay, I was like, "Oh, can't be that yet." Thank you, man. Thank you, everybody, for another great one, man. Lorna Keeper, OG, Manuel Briggs in the house, Tizzy Tiz. You even got a visit from Face coming by. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Let me scroll Defrauding charlatans. Didn't stay too long, man. Maybe one day we'll have him and his crazy tales show up. But he says he might do a show, might do a review on Cinder. So I definitely want to see what his take is on that. Because a very deep brother, too. And speaking of brother, a brother of a certain age visited us. And one that I haven't seen for a while, Empress Goddess, saying a quick hi to us also, man. So definitely appreciate everybody for coming out. Definitely, man, every Friday, 9 p.m. This is what we do. And check out our videos. If you haven't already, hit me up with that like, share, subscribe. Appreciate you. Any last words?
Nah. Peace.
No?
Look.
Peace. Thanks, everybody, man. Peace, peace, peace.